Any good acting has behavior with it.
Nate, why? Why such bitterness? What have I done to you? Get out! You're no nephew of mine. As far as I'm concerned, you're as dead as that wretch Cermak.
You have to embellish the words with a certain amount of gravity. Because we're talking about things that are really important here that are kind of secret. There's a darkness when you talk about noir. You know, it's great. I love it.
When the whole thing started, I thought, they want a statement. Fine. But it'll be my statement.
The Israeli Ministry of Defense has decided to finance the construction of a monument for my fallen soldiers in southern Lebanon. We'll create an oasis of peace, because what is death if not the ultimate peace?
This project, it will require how many trips to Lebanon?
8, 10.
10 trips on death road. You're putting yourself and the company at risk. Lebanon is our Vietnam.
Whatever happens, stay calm.
Let me do it my way. Trust me, for once. Be a monument for all victims of the Lebanon War. A sacred place for both Christians and Muslims.
They force our boys to serve and to die. How can we build this country if they keep destroying it?
You're going into Lebanon? Is it your father? He put you up to this?
Amnon, get out!
I brought this on all of you.
Architecture is not politics.
Everything is politics, even the Holy Scripture is.
I have to defend my vision.
Stop it, damn it! You're just gonna walk away?
Are you for the occupation or against it?
Well, greetings from Laser Bob, your pharaoh of physical media. That's right, that was me 40 years ago. But here I am today. A little sweaty, gotta say. Just got out of the shower, soaking wet, didn't quite get the towel off. But that doesn't matter. You know I smell good. But you know what? Be that as it may. Big weekend at the movies this weekend. We're going to talk about it. A little Project Hail Mary broke some records. But you know what? You don't want to see me. You don't want to hear from me. Why would you? Who you do want to hear from is your friend, my friend, the world's greatest German, who I realized I forgot to put his single into the frame. So I'm just going to give you the double. Here he is, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how's it going?
Well, Rob, what can I say? While the world spins out of control, at least it's good to know that in the theaters, saving the world is barely an inconvenience, and we do it by doing a joke every 3 minutes. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs, Dieter here. Here I am, Rocky Like a Hurricane. And welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. And Rob, jump right in to it, because as I remembered on the John Campea show, you were saying you think Project Hail Mary could even top 80 million. So Rob,
I
at
did
the box
say
office,
that.
Did it actually do it? Came over 80 million in domestic.
Well,
domestic.
Let's look into that, shall we? Let me tell you what I do know. Project Hail Mary answers prayers. Best opening for an MPA movie year to date with near $141 million worldwide. 140.9 million. Now, we are at 80 million at the U.S. box office. And
so you were right, Rob.
So I was right. I'm usually right, though. Let's face it. Usually, I would say I hit about 85% of the time. 80 million, but that could go higher today. These are not actuals.
Okay.
We won't know that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Amazon Studios' Project Hail Mary had a blessed Saturday, chalking up 27.1 million, just 18% off the Friday preview, 33.1 million, which rockets this Ryan Gosling starring Lord and Miller directed production to a magnificent 80.6 million. Worldwide opening is a fantastic near 141 million, which is the best for an MPA, meaning an American title, so far this year.
Yeah.
That's the second best domestic start for a non-franchise movie after Oppenheimer, which started with 82.4 million. It's the best opening for a non-franchise movie in March, ahead of Jordan Peele's Us. Interestingly enough, the trajectory for Project Hail Mary is very similar to Oppenheimer, which posted Friday previews of 33 million, but dipped 21% on Saturday. So this is an amazing this is an amazing feat, and I would imagine it's going to have great staying power. People seem to really love this movie. And as a side note, I don't think many people in the history of Hollywood have promoted a movie better than Ryan Gosling promoted this movie across many different platforms. So kudos to him for succeeding where others did not. So that was very, very exciting. Very exciting,
so it
Dieter.
could even when the final numbers come in, Rob, perhaps even edge out Oppenheimer. You said 82, perhaps it could.
I absolutely think so. I think that it very much could. If it does really, really well today, I think for sure it will.
With more business on Sunday, perhaps, not everyone has their ticket yet. It could go up. Could break it.
Totally. I mean, and look, by the way, there's your beautiful face. Yes, so I think it absolutely could go up, but I don't know. I don't know how everything else. But it did extraordinarily well.
Way over the first projections.
Yes,
from 2 months ago.
100%.
Way overperformed. Yeah.
Which is great.
I'm
I mean,
glad
look,
that
the movie's
loving
definitely
it.
a crowd pleaser. It wasn't for me. There was just a few little things that I would have preferred to see, but
it was even less for me, considering what I expected. But okay, what can you do?
Oh no! Well, what did you think of the film?
Yeah, Rob, like I said last week, for me.
Oh yeah, you already told us. That's right.
Undercutting with humor, and I couldn't get into Spider Rocky. I couldn't. And if that doesn't work for you, the movie falls flat. And they were considering the stakes, like I said in the beginning. Barely an inconvenience, saving the world. But okay, people love it. Glad for the movie that it does do well for Amazon. But considering the price tag, Rob, we still have a way to go until we are in the green zone, considering the profitability. But like you said, word of mouth should be strong. We'll see the hold next week. And I would say 500 million are in the cards, which then will turn into a profit for Amazon.
Yeah, and I'll give you the rest of the box office. Hoppers was number 2 with another 18 million, so that's up to 120.3 million. Durandar: The Revenge, which is an Indian film.
The sequel. Yeah.
The sequel. Made 13.5 million, which is really great at only 987 theaters, which is pretty amazing. Ready or Not, Here I Come. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. 9.1 million, good start for him. Remainders of Him, the Colleen Hoover movie, 33.1 million. Scream 7 is at 114.5 million. Goat, the Sony animated film, is at 97.5 million. Undertone, a movie that cost $500,000 to make, is at 15.2 million from A24. Pout Fish I have no idea, but it made 1.5 million.
Me neither.
And the Fathom event of the Met Opera, the Metropolitan Opera of Tristan and Isolde, made $722,000. So take that, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
So a Fathom event from the Met Opera.
Yeah, considering last week, Rob, the Oscars, I saw the show, but for me it was kind of a little bit all over the place, especially the presenters, the jokes. I thought, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Especially the Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. I thought, what are we doing here?
I still don't know what they were doing, and I watched it.
Yeah. There were some totally bizarre moments considering the Oscars last week. But it turned out pretty safely, I would say, considering who won. There were no big upsets. And I wanted to ask you, Rob, I believe it was the documentary short where there was a tie. Was there ever a tie?
That was live action short film.
Live action short.
I think there have been
were there
ties
ever a tie again?
I don't know. I think there were ties in the past, but I'd have to go back and look in my Oscar. I will say this though, I saw both of those movies.
Oh, nice.
And I saw one of them because the Victoria, sent me a link to see the one about swapping spit, and the other one, The Singers, popped up on Netflix. And I loved it. And both of those movies I loved, actually. And I saw them both. Yeah. And it was wild because those are the only two movies that I saw of the live-action shorts. And they tied. And I liked them both. So that was pretty cool.
So, quite a surprise there. So it was a Netflix production?
I don't know. You know what? I don't know if it was a Netflix production or not, but one day I logged on to Netflix and it had popped up.
Yeah.
It was like the main thing, and it was like, it's really good. I loved it.
Okay.
If it's still on Netflix, I'm sure it probably is because it won the Academy Award.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good. I don't know if they produced it, but I thought it was really clever and it's really well made. Both of them were, actually. So
that's nice to know.
Big futures for those people and the director of Undertone.
Yeah. Rob, were you actually at the cinemas doing a double feature with Alvaro this weekend, or didn't you have any time?
I was not able to because of obligations to our home situation that I'm, which I will be dealing with. Whether we're going to be able to, whether the Robservatory has to move or not, still remains to be seen. Hopefully we will get our own Hail Mary. Working on it. But yeah.
But I hope, Rob, next weekend it starts here in Germany and in America and in the US too. I hope you will have time, because I'm really looking forward to it, to see They Will Kill You. Because do you know who the director is, Rob, of the movie?
The guy who directed Big Bang Boom?
No, Rob. It's Kirill Sokolov who directed Why Don't You Just Die, Rob. You know?
Oh, I loved Why Don't You Just Die.
Yeah.
It's the Russian director,
and he directed after Why Don't You Just Die, No Looking Back, which was nice too. And They Will Kill You is his first English feature, Rob.
Yeah, okay. I have to say,
with Alvaro, I hope this will be on your card.
No, we would definitely do that. I have to say, I am not. I don't know. It looks derivative, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
But I love the director, Rob, so I'm really hoping for it will be a blast, just as Why Don't You Just Die was. And Rob, you were ahead of me, but finally I finished The Beauty, and I had a blast, Rob, with it. Fingers crossed for a second season. Heard nothing yet. Not yes.
You really like the end,
but
the last two.
Yeah, it's a nice cliffhanger ending, Rob. So for me, it has nice twists and turns. Like you said, it's over the top, ridiculous, but I had a blast with the series.
I have to say, I like the side stories that they would just veer off into, and the one with the high school girl.
Yeah,
when the guy's like,
and that's what was great, Rob. You never know where the show was going. You know,
No.
there was always
and I
surprise.
thought what happened to that high school girl was particularly mean spirited, and I loved it. I'm like, I was so. I mean, that show. What I loved about that show, it's terrible, but I love it. Like it was terrible.
Because considering what happened to the high school girl, Rob, it doesn't actually fit the rules that they established at first.
Well, that was the thing. They just made it up. It's like, well, I took an extra shot of it this morning, so this is going to happen to you. I mean, it's that was the thing. There was no, but I didn't care because I love the pile of whatever she turned into.
Yeah.
You know, and I just love the fact that she was. I think wasn't she a virgin or something? So she both lost her virginity and wanted the beauty. So she got royally fucked, and then. I mean, I kind of wanted to see the whole United States or the entire world start taking the beauty because that's kind of what happens in the comic, you know?
Oh, okay.
But it was, you know what? I didn't care. Although Isabella Rossellini's character shouldn't have killed herself because she was hot.
That was tough, bro. That was tough.
But
I'm looking forward to perhaps getting the second season. It should get a second season.
They did a really good job picking all the beautiful people that everyone turned into. Everybody,
like you said, Rob. Yeah,
it was
two beautiful people in Hollywood.
I mean, it was that show was so. It was just, yes.
Yeah.
No, by the way, I don't know anyone other than people that watch my channel that like Major Chai Chai, but it wasn't for her. I don't know anybody who's watched. I don't know anybody who's watched it.
Yeah, I don't know we don't know the ratings, or the ratings. We know the ratings, but not the viewership. But
okay, now I have to ask you.
Hulu to say,
we got a lot of interesting stuff. So, have you been watching Paradise season 2? You have, right?
Yeah.
Now, okay, how do you weigh in on my new favorite thing on the internet this week? Is all the theory videos that have come out about Paradise, about what's actually happening. So how
you told me about them, Rob, but I have not seen them. I have not seen.
Oh, you haven't seen? Okay, maybe it's just because my algorithm. Because there's only 2 episodes left, and the penultimate episode drops tonight. And on the first season, that's when you saw the Arctic volcano erupt. So I expect that we're gonna find out what Alex is. Is it time travel? Is it quantum dimensions? Or I don't know what it is, but the show's gonna take some fucking huge leap into some. And it ends next week, but you know what starts this week?
Help me out, Rob. No.
For All Mankind, season 5.
Ooh,
now I've already seen the first 8 episodes.
Yeah,
it's a banger.
Yeah.
It's a banger.
And Rob, that is exactly the tonal aspect that I wanted to have in Project Hail Mary. What For All Mankind delivers to me.
Oh no, I totally no. For All Mankind nails it totally. And
like
by the way.
Space is a dangerous place that can kill you at any moment.
Yes,
you know that's.
And I will say this:
For All Mankind has that funny moments. You know, like who is the first on Mars?
Right. Well, that's what. And I'll tell you something though. Project Hail Mary episode 3 is called Home.
Yeah.
Bring some Kleenex.
Okay.
Bring some Kleenex. I mean, you know what happens has been coming for a long time. But the way they do it, chef's kiss.
The 5th season is the last one, Rob?
Hopefully not.
5th season?
We don't have a renewal yet, but it fucking better not be.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope not. Because they should never end that show. They should. But the problem is, so this season takes place in 2012. Their 2012.
Yeah.
So, and I would imagine, because they wouldn't show us the last 2 episodes, that there is going to be something that has not happened in our world yet is going to happen in the last 2 episodes of Project Hail Mary. I mean, with
For All Mankind,
For All
we know
Mankind.
what you mean.
Yeah, so yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. But I really liked. I mean, there's a lot of new characters in this season. There's a few old characters, you know, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed with it, and it's so funny because a lot of people go like, "Yeah, it's like Total Recall, or it's like The Expanse, or it's like." I mean, come on. I mean, there's been so many stories set in Mars, and for me, I could sit there and go, "It's Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy. It's Red Mars, Green Mars, and Blue Mars." Man, come on. By the way, if anybody wants to read a great science fiction trilogy that has more real science in it, Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy is great. You know what? I had somebody on Twitter say something to the effect today, to say, what do you think you're better than us because you read? And my answer is yes. I am better than you because you read. I mean from a neurological standpoint, people that read it's better for your brain. I mean, you use your muscles, you get stronger. But I mean, if that's where we're at in the world, yes, I read. I'm better than you if you don't. I'll flat out say it.
Easy
because
peasy.
I am a meritocratist. That's what I am. And you know what? You know what's really sad? You know what? When I hear that and I hear this weird pushback against education and books, when they created the printing press, the first thing that they printed really was the Bible en masse. But what the printing press allowed, most people didn't have access to books. Books were very much for the rich, for the elite. And when the printing press was created, everybody could get a hold of books. And there was an explosion of literacy in the wake of that. We need that to happen again. So I'm just saying.
would be nice to see.
Now,
Just quick, the stuff that I've... Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was going to ask you, have you been looking into the mirror and singing Paul Atreides' War Haka from Dune 3?
Rob, once again, I stayed away from any teaser, any trailers. I have not seen the Spider-Man trailer. I have not seen the Dune teaser or trailer. Those two movies are already on the agenda that I will watch. I will see. Don't need to see anything, Rob. I'm staying away. Staying away from both. I have not seen any trailers of those two movies. Well, but what I have seen, because I'm still waiting for the Steelbook, I hope I'm still will be getting it from America, because only in America there is a 4K Steelbook coming out, but it's already out on Disney Plus. So I finally, the second most successful movie worldwide last week, because the biggest one is still NASA 2, but finally I saw Zootopia 2, which Rob, is called Zootropolis in the UK and Zoomania in Germany because of specific riot situations. So it has 3 titles already. Totally enjoyed it. A blast, lot of characters again. Totally fun. Like the first one. Really nice world building. Again, for me, a must buy. Easy peasy. Liked it. Nothing more, nothing less. Totally was thrilled. And of course, I've got to watch One Piece, the second season, because the first one was a huge success on Netflix. And they kept the craziness up, Rob, Like you always said, the whimsical stuff in those animes, considering adapting that into live action seems like an impossible task, or this way too bonkers, but they're stuck with the concept, and no matter how ridiculous the stuff is in the anime, what I've seen, they translated it mostly one-to-one, so it's really tough to calibrate sometimes to the wackiness and the bonkers stuff that is happening in it, but for me, totally enjoyable again, the second season of One Piece.
People are absolutely loving it. They're loving it.
Yeah. Considering just this poster, Rob, you see all the crazy characters, and they're all pretty rememberable, I would say, considering the characters themselves. And the new one is, the shopper, the reindeer, which is totally done really, really great with CGI, but I don't know the budget, considering this character is now a member of the crew, how this will affect the budget, considering further seasons. So I've seen the Beauty. We talked about They Will Kill You. Hope you will have time. This was the stuff that I've seen digital. But I'm really, because Zootopia is already out in the States on physical media, but Amazon said they need a little bit more time to get me my 4K Steelbook, because I think that it's only getting a 4K release in the States, perhaps Japan, but actually not here and not even in the UK. There's only Blu-rays coming out for Zootopia. Strangely. So I want that 4K steelbook, even if I would even more prefer to get a 3D version of Zootopia. But I don't think it even played in 3D in the theaters. But I could be wrong about that. So Rob, I think we had some super chats that came in before we go into our physical media stuff.
It's true. We have, first of all, Darth Plato sends in a tip.
Yeah.
Darth Plato says, "Hey Rob, you know there's something wrong when the cast of the original series is outliving the cast of Buffy." Today is William Shatner's 95th birthday. You go, Bill Shatner. You are the man.
Holy moly.
Can
95.
you believe it? 95. He looks great. Still going strong. Let's hear it for the Shat.
Unbelievable.
The man, the myth, the legend. Maybe this year we will be able to get for the 60th anniversary of the original series and hopefully, and then the 60th anniversary of Star Trek and the 95th anniversary of William Shatner, we could get Free Enterprise out. Who knows? Jay Larson says, "Hey RMB, I'm looking forward to your bet with Gary about lanterns. I'm siding with Gary, but I'd like to hear from you, from your optimism for lanterns." Well, my optimism about Supergirl, my optimism about lanterns, my optimism about all of these things is that James Gunn has said that he doesn't want to move forward with anything unless he thinks the scripts are good. And so I find it really interesting. There was all this collective outrage about lanterns and how here's what I don't get. I mean, clearly Hal Jordan is training Jon Stewart. They're incognito. They're not wandering around on Earth in their Green Lantern outfits. They're not drawing attention to themselves. They are clearly undercover, and so if you were presenting Green Lantern in the quote unquote real world, well, what would that be like? And I think that Lantern, they've come to Earth and clearly they find something going on, which I would imagine, since it has been said that what happens in Lanterns has ramifications for the rest of the DC universe, that it wouldn't surprise me, because when I grew up, most Green Lantern stories kind of took place on Earth. It wasn't the cosmic fest that it turned into under Jeff Johns, and things like that. Hal Jordan was a test pilot from Earth. And a lot of what went on, like when I was a kid, I really liked when I got back into reading comics, there was a reprint of the Neil Adams run, the Green Lantern, Green Arrow run, where they kind of went across America to discover America. So it's weird to me that there's all this pushback that people only think, well, this is a show about cosmic space cops, and I'm like, but that's only true of a certain era of Green Lantern. And I find modern fandom is tiresome because they don't take into consideration the gigantic pantheon of stories that these characters have participated in. And it's only what they know, and which is weird because when I was a young whippersnapper of a fan, I was always like, I liked superhero stuff, but I wanted to see the adventures of Captain Marvel because Shazam was on Saturday morning TV. And I knew that the character of Captain Marvel had appeared in a 1940s serial, which, by the way, is one of the great serials of all time. But I knew as a kid that it existed, but there was no way to see it. And then it wasn't until I think the first time I saw it was on Laserdisc, was when I got the Adventures of Captain Marvel. I think Image put it out. But now there's no, you see people arguing, getting all angry online about things, but there's no sense of history. There's no sense of, I'm going to go delve into, let me go look at many different Green Lantern stories that might be similar to what they're doing with lanterns. So when I look at lanterns, the first thing that came to my mind was the Green Lantern, Green Arrow story when they're traveling across America. sort of, and that was kind of a typical thing in the 70s. Let's go find the country. So look, I'm very curious about Lanterns. I can't wait to see it. I think that what's going to happen is going to be really interesting. So that's look, might it be terrible? Sure. But I really love the Penguin, and I enjoyed Peacemaker for what it was.
Yeah.
So
let's wait until the series is out,
Yeah. If the series is out and if it's terrible, I'll be the first person to call it out. But I'm looking forward to it. Richard Curtis says, I got Sunset Warriors. Thanks for making me aware of it last week. I just watched the Heroes Shed No Tears cut so far.
Yeah.
There's a German comedian called Henning, who's quite well known in the UK. Have you heard of him, Dieter?
Henning? No, actually not. I have to be honest, I'm not really big familiarity with all the German comedians that are.
Well, no one needs to know any
here.
German comedians aside from you. You're the funniest German I know.
Yeah. Sorry, Richard, I have not heard of him. Henning. Okay. No, actually not. And I didn't even know that he seems to be some kind of a big thing in the UK. Strange Rob. No, not heard of him. Of Henning. No. Don't know.
How dare you?
Don't know
How
him.
dare you, sir?
Need to get into him or check him out. Never heard of him. Strangely.
Well, Henning's going to be upset.
Yeah, sir.
Clearly.
For sure.
So we are caught up on Super Chats.
We are
not caught up on Super Chats. Lots of Super Chats came in.
I have my friend here, Altmetall, who is a neighbor of me, considering county-wise, and he says, I don't know Henning either. So, another German who doesn't know him.
Well, that's interesting. Paul Brunato's here. Paul Brunato says, hey, Robin Dieter, I'm going to see Wings tomorrow, and then on Wings, 1929. That's very cool. The first Oscar-winning movie. And then on Tuesday, Project Hail Mary, 70mm IMAX, both movies at the Regal Opry Mills. Gotta support theaters. You do. Darth Plato says, no country for old lanterns. Yeah, I hope so. That'd be great. Richard Curtis says, I remember when William Shatner saw something on the wing of a plane. I also remember in Third Rock from the Sun when John Lithgow told Shatner, that happened to me too, which is very, very funny. I've seen that, and it was very, very funny. You know what? What was even funnier is I'm sure at the time, Shatner might not have even known what he meant. Zeitgeist Ruminator said, hi, Rob and Dieter. I love your content. I have a question, Rob. Does listening to audio books make me better than those that don't? I only ask so I can tell them, yes, it does make me better. I'm sorry to say, no, it doesn't. Because you're using a different sense. And I think that reading is something that it's a different cognitive action. And so because you've got the added benefit of you're using language, you're using your imagination in different ways. But I would say because it's an audio drama, and there is an audio drama that I was involved with making, which is an adaptation of a novel, so it's not like reading. But I guess listening to an audiobook, it gets you halfway there. But the act of reading itself, I think, is critically important to cognitive reasoning skills. I really do. So
there you go.
There you go.
So only 50-50.
Zeitgeist Ruminator is a great name. You know what? If I wasn't an imagination connoisseur, I would be a Zeitgeist Ruminator. That's a great name. Major Chai Chai says, have you seen the trailer for Pressure with Brendan Fraser as Eisenhower and Damian Lewis as Montgomery? What's your impression? I've seen that trailer a couple times. I think that movie opens in like a month. I'm not quite sold. You know what? Brendan Fraser is a great actor, but he looks a little too young. I mean, Eisenhower to me was always old in my mind. He might be the same age or even older than Eisenhower, but he looks too young. But I mean, I love stories about World War II, so I'm going to watch that. Have you seen anything about that?
No. It's the first time I heard about the movie.
Oh, well, it looks pretty good. The real Thomas Logan coming out controversially with an opinion. By the way, I have something to say. I have something to say to real Thomas Logan because I did some research. The man who wrote the book, The Club Dumas, if you look at his other writings, there is no way that the character of Corso in that novel is supposed to be the devil. Thomas maintains that Dean Corso in The Ninth Gate is the devil. And I'm like, if he's just the devil that doesn't know he is, then, I mean, what kind of a story is that? But anyway, I just want to point that out. And then I did that's why I did a little bit of research. But anyway, that's just between me and Tom.
I know about that kerfuffle, Rob. I know about that. He lets me know.
Dieter Bastian's opinion on Project Hail Mary is invalid because he chose to watch it in a regular theater instead of a true 1570 IMAX. Lord Miller Fraser shot Project Hail Mary for 15 perf 70 millimeter. Well, now here's the thing. They did, but they were also in charge of overseeing. There's a great video with Lord Miller going to all the different theaters, showing all the different formats. But yes, Project Hail Mary. By the way, a lot of people think that Project Hail Mary was shot on film. It was not.
Yeah.
But Greg Fraser used the same process he used on things like Dune, where he adds grain to it after the fact and films out. But anyway.
Do you know, Rob, how many people's opinion are invalid now who haven't seen Project Hail Mary in that format? A lot of people's opinion are invalid now.
I will say though, it is pretty You know what like I said last week, I can't get out of my mind what it was like to hear the chatter of a projector. That you could hear the film, which I loved. I've forgotten how I love that sound. And it's not obtrusive to me at all. Joshua Gonzalez says, I got the 4K Criterion Risky Business yesterday. Easily my favorite teen movie of the 80s. Risky Business is my favorite. It's also probably the most stylish. And it's got a great Tangerine Dream score. Richard Curtis says, I thought that was the case, that he was not so well known outside the UK. He was just curious.
Okay. Because one of my other German contacts that I got through the show, Rob, Henning Ahler says, who is Henning? He doesn't know him either. So we have 3 Germans, Rob.
Wow.
That doesn't know him. And he is even called Henning himself.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So we are caught up, I presume?
We are caught up.
Okay.
Would you like to start?
Or you, Rob. I don't have that many titles. The first title, Rob, that I wanted to show is actually not something that I got this week, but I stumbled across it because I was looking for the Kirill Sokolov movies, but I couldn't find Why Don't You Just Die, but I've at least found his last one. And I stumbled across the French version or the earlier movie that you mentioned on the John Campia show. When I see a movie really late, I often go back to the reviews on YouTube, considering The Running Man. And you reminded me about a French movie that came out before Running Man. And I looked at the release date and I thought, didn't I show that on Let's Get Physical Media? Because it came out March in 2021. So I already would have had that title and we already did our show, but it was still wrapped in cellophane. So I found a German one of Kopfjagd, Preis der Angst. So this movie came out 1983, and Rob reminded me on the John Campia show there was actually lawsuit considering Running Man. And I think, Rob, Running Man is easily more a remake of actually that movie than it is an adaptation of the book, you know. So, and you said they won actually the lawsuit. You know, the
They did.
French title
They did
is
win.
Le Prix du Danger is the French title, and it actually comes with a booklet and the soundtrack. But I have to watch that movie again because I believe I've even seen this in the theaters back in the day. And they won the lawsuit. Am I right, Rob?
Yeah, they did.
You told? Yeah. Considering plagiarism. So this is the French version, which came out even before Running Man. So the titles that I got this week, I start with the Kino Lorber stuff that Rob mostly often has already shown, which I've finally gotten myself. I've got K2 with Michael Biehn, special O-ring.
And Matt Craven.
Blu-ray. Yeah. Blu-ray, 4K. Let me just see. Audio commentary. A little bit of a making of. And this was price reduced. And Rob showed it last week. Finally, I got it myself. The 4K of Mimic. Guillermo del Toro. This actually...
It's really nice.
Yeah. It's actually a 3K set because we have the director's cut, the theatrical cut, both in 4K. The theatrical cut and the director's cut have separate 4Ks, and the Blu-ray has both cuts on one disc. So really nice. Really looking forward to watching Guillermo's first American outing. And of course, biggest one, and I think we are almost close of having released all of the Ilsa titles, Rob. I got my Ilsa Tigers of Siberia, and I love that Kino Lorber always puts a different cover artwork underneath it. So I think we are only missing one or two. We've got 4K and the Blu-ray from Kino Cult. So we are almost gotten all those movies in 4K. Unbelievable.
And we're better men for it.
Nasty. Yeah, Video Nasties from back in the day. From Belgo, USA, blind purchase. The movie is called Lone Samurai. Nothing too fancy, and it's just a 4K. And this is actually from the director who did the movie Race with Zoe Bell. So I'm really looking forward to it because actually, just from the cover, I thought it was a Japanese movie, but it's actually not. So Lone Samurai from Belgo, USA. Then yesterday, Rob, I watched this movie from the UK. It's called, nice comedy, Fackham Hall.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a nice combination of Downton Abbey meets Airplane, meets a little bit Monty Python. Not at that level of comedy, but I had really nice laughs, and there's a lot of stuff even in the background. So I probably missed one or two jokes, and I was happy that I watched it on physical media, or would it be nice even on streaming, because I could pause sometimes to read the newspaper that someone was reading because of the headlines. Otherwise it would be too fast to get that joke what he was reading on the newspaper. So I really had a nice time with it, and it even contains a little bit of a whodunit. And have you seen it, Rob, already?
No, but I saw the trailers for it.
Yeah, it is on HBO Max, and one of the funniest things, Rob, is during the wedding, J.R.R. Tolkien is at the wedding, and he searches for inspirations for a specific book that he is writing, And there were some funny stuff considering Mr. Tolkien in here too. Fackham Hall, or it could be titled a little bit different. Really nice one. And it is a comedy which we rarely get these days, because there are no holds barred in this one. Now we have Cat in the Bags. The first one, probably mediocre one, but who knows? With Luke Evans and Mila Jovovich. It's called Worldbreaker. But I have not seen it, not a 4K. But at least reversible cover artwork, so no German big rating on the front, World Breaker. Then this one was called Operation Kabul. So really looking forward to this one. This is actually a 4K, and I think even a Blu-ray. No, just a 4K.
Where do you find all these titles?
Browsing, Rob. Browsing what is coming new. You know, you have your special websites like Blu-ray.com. I have a German I have a German website. What is coming out, and then okay, it's Operation Kabul. Oh, looks nice. Then of course, do a little digging in how are the reviews, how it's faring up, you know, and we get international stuff. Rob. Let me just see. The language is actually French, English, and Dari, so different languages are spoken in Operation Kabul. Then get the back, and the funny thing, Rob, is the quote at the top says, from the director Brendan Christensen, who did The Puppet Man, See, and Stillborn. I have not seen any of those 3 movies. The movie is called Night of the Reaper.
It's a cool cover.
Of the cover. Yeah, certainly, Rob. And guess what brought me to purchase the movie, you know?
The rating.
Night of the Reaper. The rating is just 16, Rob. The rating is just 16 here, you know. But we gotten a little bit laggy considering the censorship here, Rob, you know. Not like back in the old days. So Night of the Reaper, cat in the back. Then the last 2. This one is already out in the States in 4K, but this is the media book. The first one, I've got Underworld as a 4K media book. It comes with the extended cut in 4K. And the Blu-ray contains the extended and the theatrical version and bonus material. And we have the media book part. This movie was a blast when it came out, especially considering the budget, because the movie looked way more expensive than it actually was. And it turned out into one of those franchises. How many parts? I think 5. We have 5 if I'm correct in this series. Underworld. And the last one, a big hit over the Christmas corridor. It played and played and played, and I was happy that Paul Feig finally got another hit again after a lot of flops. The Housemaid. This is the Lionsgate version, the Digipack for the movie, which comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray. And what was nice, Rob, they listened to us, Rob. They listened to us. The slip is just big enough so you can put it in, you know? It's not too big. You can
They know what's up at
put it
Lionsgate.
easily in. So you have the 4K and the Blu-ray. So there's nothing special here, but you can at least, let me just here, open it up at the front. I enjoyed Housemaid, but considering the thriller that we gotten in the 90s, this was not specifically new for people who grew up in that area, but for people who never seen that kind of trailers, it totally was a big hit at the box office. My last one, Housemaid from Lionsgate.
Okay, well,
and you can get it as a normal 4K. This is just the Digipack version from Lionsgate, which is not limited to their website.
I will start. I did get a box of goodness from Kino Lorber. And the first one is for you, sir. Riefenstahl. Before she was a prop.
Rob, great. Correct, Rob.
Before she was a propagandist, Leni Riefenstahl was an actress.
Correct.
And here is a movie called Blue Light, which I've never seen, but this movie, Leni Riefenstahl had become an iconic German actress for her athletic performances in the mountain climbing films of director Arnold Fanek. You know, like what's-her-face played in Inglourious Bastards. Diane Kruger, Joan of Arc, who I met once. I met her at Sugarfish I met her at Sugarfish in Studio City. Yes, when she was still dating Joshua Jackson. I met them both with Nikki Griffin.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. I've never seen one of
Nice.
her movies, so there you go.
Yeah.
Then the
Great
outlier,
pronunciation, Rob.
Riefenstahl.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud.
I'm learning. I think I'd be pretty good with languages. It's just frustrating because you know why? I can't read in foreign languages right away, so it's hard for me to learn them.
Yeah.
So I get frustrated because I want to immediately read in a foreign language.
Yeah.
The Return of the Pink Panther, the outlier that Kino Lorber had not released yet because it came from a different production company. Now, I would imagine that this will be followed up by the 4K of it, but here's the Blu-ray. And then, this is interesting.
Rob, you can go full frame on you. That people are seeing the titles a little bit better.
Okay, I'll go full frame on me, baby.
Yeah.
No, so here's the outlying Return of the Pink Panther from Kino. Now they're all out. This is kind of a cool thing. It's a restoration presented by Milestone Films. Sherman Alexie, smoke signals and stuff like that. The Business of Fancy Dancing came out. I remember seeing this in the theater when it first came out. I like this movie. I saw this movie once. I remember very little about it. But if you're a Sherman Alexie fan,
Time to refresh your memory.
there you go. And then Major Chai like this. Magritte sees red.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Jean Gabin will be. Max Allen Collins is going to be talking about this shortly.
Yeah.
So we've got that.
Nice.
And then another Peter Sellers movie. Peter Sellers and Peter Sellers in The Prisoner of Zenda. I saw this movie in the theater too. It's all right. It's not bad. And now, this might be my favorite release just because this is Kino Cult Spine number 46. The Sexploiters and Raw Love.
Double feature.
It's a double feature. Housewife reveals all. It says perverted passions and twisted pleasures. I love these 60s sexploitation movies. They're hilarious. It's got a reversible cover. And if you look at this, he paid for pain, his pleasure, death, unnatural love, and erotic orgy. Exploring the depths of perverted passions to reveal the weird pleasures of those who pay. Don't we all? So, Kino Cult and Something Wicked presents two rarely seen roughies. These are called roughies. Culled from the lower depths of the American grindhouse. Toni Steele is a Long Island housewife who immerses herself in the seedy subculture of the camera club, where clients engage live models for private photography sessions. Director Al Rubin later brought the gritty black and white aesthetics of the Sexploiters to John Cassavetes' 1968 Faces, which Rubin shot and edited. Wow, the beginnings of John Cassavetes' indie work right here. These are both from 1965, and I'm a better man that I have this. So thank you, Kino Cult. Again, that is Spine number 46. Kino Cult, the most interesting, diverse, and eclectic bunch of films ever. And then we go. I did get 3 4Ks from Kino Cult. First, Jamie Foxx in Ray. I love this movie.
Oh, nice.
4K of Ray, and then 2.
That was a Paramount title, Rob. Am I correct? Ray was a Paramount.
Ray is. Let me see. Is it Paramount? It doesn't have the Paramount. No, it's not Paramount.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay, I thought.
But
okay.
You know what is Paramount?
Yeah.
The other 4K they sent me, Uncommon Valor. I saw this movie 4 times in the theater. Let's Go Rescue Vietnam POWs with Gene Hackman, Reb Brown, Fred Ward, Randall Tex Cobb, Patrick Swayze, Tim Thomerson, and Robert Stack. I love this movie when I saw it. Directed by Ted Kotcheff, the man who directed First Blood. This was a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen this movie, Now you can in 4K. And then finally, this movie was directed by Richard Attenborough. And I saw this movie in the theater with my father. It's from 1977. It is a British war movie called A Bridge Too Far in 4K.
Ooh, okay.
Listen to this cast. You know who's in this movie, dude? Here's who's in this movie. Dirk Bogarde, James Caan, Michael Caine, Sean Connery, Edward Fox, Elliot Gould, Gene Hackman, Anthony Hopkins, Hardy Kruger, Laurence Olivier, Ryan O'Neal, Robert Redford, Maximilian Schell, and Lee Ullman. I don't know, man.
A big cast.
Yeah, that is a huge cast. Now, I don't know. Sometimes Kino, I don't think Uncommon Valor or Ray have other key art, but I'm just as a
Perhaps the Kino Cult stuff more than the normal.
Yeah,
normal,
but I'm wondering if this
stuff.
might, because A Bridge Too Far, Bridge Too Far just has this. Okay. Sometimes movies that were big like this had multiple key art, but this does not. So no multiple key art for these 4Ks. And then, of course, as you know, Dietz, I write for Lionsgate. My latest, you can see, you can link to it in the description, is an article on the Ninth Gate. But they sent me, I did get this month's Lionsgate limited titles. And the first of them, their first 4K Vestron series disc, which I also wrote an article about, The Substitute.
Oh,
now,
nice.
The Substitute comes with not one, you've got your slipcase. Then you have your original key art, but not to be outdone, you have a third piece of artwork.
Ooh.
And this is a variation on the cover. It's red instead of this. So that's kind of cool. I mean, that the detail. And I'll tell you something else. What I also liked about this. And I think that, I mean, this is just little stuff that I appreciate. But this, by the way, is spine number 37 on their Vestron Collectors series, for those keeping track. So 37. But I do like the smoky white 4K box. You know, it's not clear.
It looks a little bit, Rob, like the music label that you always get.
Yes,
you know?
Super Deluxe Edition. That is, yes,
Super Deluxe Edition, yeah.
Super Deluxe Edition. Then, of course, this has been controversial. Apparently, people are not happy with the transfer or anything. I have not looked at it. I haven't talked to Lisa about it. But the Steelbook of Leprechaun.
Oh, okay.
Gold.
Nice.
I know, right?
Really nice. Considering the movie, that's awesome.
And then on the it's hard to see, but it's a bunch of clovers, 4-leaf clovers. Now, people have talked about transfers, and I have a pet peeve. I have a bone to pick with fans of ours, I guess, and a lot of these young whippersnappers in the forums, and it really bothered me when people talked about how Boogie Nights actually looked. Well, I watched Boogie Nights. I thought it looked incredible. You know, but it looks like how it was shot. And a lot of people really don't understand, like, especially with Leprechaun, you have a lot of people that grew up watching it on VHS, and they're like, why doesn't it look that way? Now, I haven't looked at this transfer. I really haven't, so I can't speak to that. But a lot of people don't understand what they're looking at when they're looking at photochemical films on 4K. So sometimes they look really good. Sometimes they might be a little bit more grainy than you remember, but people then complain about it. But that's the way things look, unless James Cameron comes along and gives you something you've never seen before. Now, this is
what the faux pas with the title with the title is, considering.
Yeah. Now, this was I did get the Studio Canal version of this, and I think it's the same transfer, but it's a spectacular transfer. Oliver Stone's The Doors. I watched this disc. I love everything about this release. I love the menus.
Nice. Very cool.
I love the Steelbook because you're the one. Hey, Tom, I've seen all your movies. You've got a great penis. I like this movie. I don't care what anyone says. This movie came out in what, 93? Was it 93 when this came out?
Could be around that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 90, something like that. But my friend Sean, who's no longer with us, he and I we would watch this movie incessantly, and we would just quote lines from it. So I've seen this movie way too many.
That's what it's called, staying power.
But it was one of those movies, like, we'd go out, we'd like, go out for a night of partying and roll in at like 6 a.m. or something. Or even worse, like, you'd wind up at someone's Malibu mansion that you're like, who are these people? Why are we here? And you'd roll home at like noon on a Sunday, and we'd always put on The Doors and drink more. So I have a relationship with this movie. I don't know what kind of a relationship, but the transfer looks spectacular. It sounds amazing. Oliver Stone has been really well represented on home video, especially in 4K between Shout Factory and getting things like this on 4K, so it's pretty cool. I still have my Doors Laserdisc, which comes in a big box set, which is pretty cool. So there you go. And Dieter, that is my haul.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know where I don't know where Max is.
I'm here.
I guess Max is here already.
I think our headliner is still waiting.
I didn't realize he was here.
The support acts from the stage.
I didn't see him
because
pop
support
in.
acts don't. Yeah.
Well, hang on a second, everybody. I'm sorry.
Don't have the right to play longer.
Left him waiting.
Headliners don't like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. Max Allen Collins. Welcome to the show, Max.
Hello, Max.
I don't mind waiting in the green room. There's some rockin', hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and it's just
some catering.
So I don't mind.
Oh, that's good. As long as you're being taken care of, Max. I didn't even see, because normally I don't know why, but when Dieter, I have to let Dieter in, but with you, I don't have to let you in. You just show up, so I don't know that you're there. You just are there.
Actually, I'm here all the time, Rob.
Well, you're always in my heart. I can tell you that.
Well, I think should we dive in because you were just talking about McGray sees red.
Oh well,
really?
There it is. And it's got an O-ring. It's an O-ring, but doesn't have any difference in terms of extra posters or anything.
Nope, there it is. Brand new. Actually, this hasn't yet come out. You can order it, but it hasn't dropped.
Yeah.
I think it drops next week on disc.
Okay. We'll not reach the street date yet.
Right.
Well, it is a very good McGray movie. Jean Gabin did 3, and all of them are now available from Kino. I'd love to see them in a box set, and I'd love to see them as 4Ks. But now they are accessible. And McGray is a character that has been around since, since the 1920s. And this sounds absurd, but there are dozens of different portrayals of him on TV and movies. Many of which we can't access because they're in various foreign languages, including French, which these 3 movies are. McGray Sees Red. Really, Georges Simenon is one of the major crime writers internationally, and he's part of that same era that Hammett and Chandler and Spillane were, and his character has generated, as I say, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. But I would say that there's a good argument to be made that Jean Gabin is the ultimate Maigret, at least for film. And there were 2 really good ones on TV. One was, and I think this was a French show, with Bruno Kramer. Bruno Kramer, who was in a movie that you like, Rob, that I like. Do you know what, the remake of Wages of Sin, or Wages of Fear?
Wages of Fear, yeah, Sorcerer.
He's in the one that the remake.
Yeah, Sorcerer.
Sorcerer, yeah, and he's a terrific actor, and he did 54 episodes, all directly based on the novels, and that was a very popular TV show in Great Britain, starring what is the gentleman's name? Rupert Davies, and they also did 52 episodes based on the novels. And this is obviously based on one of the novels. And Maigret is an interesting character because he is a police commissioner. He's an older man usually, and he does not think so much about the clues as he does about psychology and circumstances. So he wants to go to the scene and see what's going on. He wants to see the people. He lets the other people, his minions, do the grunt work and do the forensics and do all of that kind of stuff. This has a lot to do with Americans in Paris, and some of them are English speakers. There's one that's kind of badly dubbed, but the English, you do hear the English in this particular print, and it's organized crime is a big element in this. There's a lot more action than you usually get in a Maigret. There's even hand-to-hand combat, a lot of machine guns, and it also gets very noir, which is cool in a French movie. So I would highly recommend this. It's a very fun evening at the movies.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And
That's cool.
the other two are also good. I don't know if I have the names of them written down, but just go to Kino and search Maigret, and they'll have the other two. And of course, with all those sales that Kino has, you'll probably be able to pick them up for a song. I'm also going to tag in on what you were just talking about, Rob, because the Damn Fool Crusader, who has
wait a minute. Okay, we got to talk about. So
I have to tell you that he said really nice things about me, and so I like people that say really nice things about me.
I pay people to say really nice things about me.
But he, I'll let you take the ball in a second, but I'll say why I'm bringing this up. He called the Two Jakes, which was a 4K Kino put out that I did the commentary with Heath Holland on, and I am I'm like the Two Jakes is like next to Mickey Spillane in terms of things I'm an apologist for.
Yes,
I'm
it's
nut
good.
about it.
Yeah.
And he said that it was the worst, I believe, encode of the year of 2025.
He did.
And that it should be recalled, and that it was just appalling. I mean, it sounded like somebody reporting one of my high school dates. Let's put it that way. And it was just, and I thought, the funny thing was, when Heath and I did the commentary, first of all, I prepared for the commentary using the Blu-ray that was already out.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't seeing the 4K. And then when Heath and I did the commentary, and this is common, we did it with a matching. We're on our computers looking at a feed that we got provided by Kino, which isn't necessarily anything to do with what the finished product is going to be. And the only time I watched this when it came out was I was listening to my commentary because I just love hearing myself talk. So I wasn't really paying any attention. So when someone who thinks my work is good said this was bad, I had to pay attention. So I watched the movie again. I spent 2 nights on it, one night, and looked at it. And I compared it to the Blu-ray because there was a suggestion that the Blu-ray was superior to the 4K. And I'm here to say, no, this is a really good looking 4K. Now, am I a techie? Am I an expert on this? All I know is the evidence of my eyes. And
so you didn't look at the bit rate on your the output?
Not really.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
It supposedly it was filled with compression artifacts, the worst ever seen, and so on. And I didn't see any compression. Now I'm on a 55-inch screen. It isn't like the side of a house that I'm looking at this on. And and so it's, maybe it's me. Maybe my eyes aren't wonderful. I can guarantee you that, but I trust them. And I also saw that movie in the theater about 4 or 5 times on release. And the 4K looks pretty much like what I remember seeing in the theater. Now, when I popped the Blu-ray in, and the Blu-ray I think it looks fine, except it's very poppy in terms of the colors. The colors are very bright. And it's not surprising to say that that the 4K looks dimmer than the brightened image, but that image looks like it's pumped up. And this is a very film noir, sometimes through filters that are meant to take you into the past, like when he's driving on the street. And of course, I love the movie. I think the movie is really, really good. And I even enjoyed, and I thank the Damn Fool Crusader for this, gave me a chance to look at the movie again, when I'm not having to think about, well, what am I saying for a commentary?
Well,
I can actually just look at it and say, oh, well, I didn't notice that before, and I didn't notice that before.
So for anybody who's just tuning into our show and doesn't know, there is a YouTuber who calls himself the Damn Fool Idealistic Crusader, who I have to say, God love him. I love him, but I love him in his snobbery. He's very, very snobby about what he thinks. Like, he actually participated, as far as I understand, in Arrow's restoration of the Dollars trilogy. And I would encourage everybody. He did a list, best of 2025. There's a great. I don't know if it dropped this week, but I watched the whole thing. I really like listening to him, and he clearly is smart. But he's also got a stick up his ass. But that's why I love him. I
have to tell you, he had the 2 Jakes disc up behind him, and I saw he's doing the best 25. I was so excited.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
And I was number 10.
But it's like the Dollars trilogy. Look, that was the Dollars trilogy from Arrow was my favorite. It was my pick it was the release of the year for me. And it truly is. It truly is. As Quentin Tarantino said, it's the best trilogy ever made.
Yep.
I think that it depends on your taste. I think an argument could be made that Lord of the Rings is my problem with the Star Wars trilogy. The original is best trilogy ever made. Is I'm not a Return of the Jedi fan, and it wasn't conceived of as a trilogy. They made it up as they went, But Lord of the Rings, and they also made up the Dollars trilogy. But
Godfather isn't too shabby.
The Godfather, for me, the first 2 are great, and as they said in The Sopranos, Godfather 3, it's just misunderstood. But the Damn Fool Idealistic Crusader is if someone told me that he invented the website Letterboxd, I'd be like, well, of course he did, even though he didn't. But I do like. I think, I think sometimes there's a fundamental misunderstanding of what we get. And in terms of, like, VHS was a very different medium than Laserdisc, and DVD was a different medium than Laserdisc, and Blu-ray and 4K are essentially, they're also very different than DVD was. So you have to take into consideration the format that you're looking at when you're reviewing things. And I think a lot of people don't. They talk about, like, his favorite discs of the year were the Laurel and Hardy discs and the Dollars trilogy from Arrow. And one of the things that he rightfully points out is that those Laurel and Hardy discs are incredible, and they're also done by Fidelity and Motion. And everybody knows that Fidelity and Motion, they're the great encoders. Criterion uses them, Arrow uses them, they're incredible. But when he says that his favorite discs of the year, your favorite fucking disc of the year was not Laurel and Hardy. I know, I'm sorry. But it might be fantastic and it's great for cinema history, Damn Fool Idealistic Crusader. But what do you watch those on repeat? Come on. Laurel and Hardy. I get what they did. They're amazing. But don't tell me that the Dollars trilogy and Laurel and Hardy are your favorite releases of the year. Come on.
And don't we buy 2 Jakes just for the audio commentary with Max?
Fuck yeah.
Not for the movie.
That's right. But by the way, Damn Fool Idealistic Crusader, you have an open invitation to come on this show anytime you want. Love to have you here. Love to have a discussion with you. It would be so much fun. And know that I truly do love what you do. And
by the way,
you do say it in the name, the Damn Fool Idealistic Crusader. And you live up to that.
By the way, he also, one of the things he complained about, he gave me a pretty good review of A Return of the Maltese Falcon, my novel.
Pretty good?
It wasn't a rave. Most of the reviews have been pretty much raves, which I'm surprised about. But he didn't like the sex scene. I don't trust anybody who doesn't like my sex scenes.
Well, to be fair, you know what? I'm just going to refrain from commenting. By the way, what he was talking about is Max Allan Collins' novel, The Return of the Maltese Falcon, bringing Sam Spade back to life. The only man who should have sequelized the Maltese Falcon because it's your favorite novel of all time, right?
Well, yeah, and you know, this actually speaks to something that this general conversation we're having about fans who take sort of ownership over the things that they're interested in. I did have other comments about the sex. There's a kind of I think very mild sex scene in Return of the Maltese Falcon, and I had a number of people come out and say, well, this is outrageous. I mean, he had to do the sex stuff that he always does in his book, Collins, you know. So he and the fact is that in the novel, The Maltese Falcon, by Dashiell Hammett, not by me, by Dashiell Hammett, Spade sleeps with Bridget O'Shaughnessy, the Mary Astor character, and later in the book, he makes her strip naked so that he can find out whether she has pocketed, I don't know what pocket she would have used, has pocketed a $1,000 bill that Gutman says is missing. So these are people that have either seen the movie or read the book a long time ago, and they come and they make these kind of complaints. They're not informed complaints, really.
Max, I have to say that, you know, you explained this to me before, that there are people that have made complaints about your work, that they have sex scenes in them. There, other than people that don't read, the only other people that I actively dislike are people that complain about sex scenes in books. Because let me tell you,
I used to complain about sex scenes in books because they weren't in the books.
Well, when I was a young whippersnapper, all of my YA fiction was like James Herbert horror novels, Graham Masterton horror novels. I read the most explicit, awesome sex scenes ever. And I mean, I was not getting nudie magazines when I was 11. I was getting British horror. And those guys, they were sick fucks. And I was there for it. And I learned so much stuff from them that served me well later in life. So I would say...
I know is that they took the carpetbaggers away from me in study hall in the 8th grade.
Well, to be fair, I had Lucifer's Hammer taken away from me in music class in the 6th grade, but I don't recall that there was much sex in Lucifer's Hammer by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. And I had to go to my my principal, Boyd Matson, the principal at Island Park Elementary School, and beg to get my copy of Lucifer's Hammer back.
I would like to. There's one other thing
I wanted to stop you to opening your cult.
And maybe the damn fool idealistic crusader knows the answer to this, but something I've not seen anybody raise in any of the discussions of the two Jakes. In 2007, when the DVD was put out, Nicholson, the director, as well as the star, put out a revised version, and that was what was on the DVD.
Wow.
He cut there's a narration. Chinatown does not have a narration, but the Two Jakes has a Chandler-esque narration. He changed it. He took some of it out, and so no one has said whether or not the original version of the Two Jakes was ever put out there on physical media, and haven't said whether or not the version that's out right now from Kino is in fact the same version that came out.
Because you're the only person who knows, Max.
I don't know. I mean, I could get my laser disc out because I have the laser disc.
Well, now, see, I would say that's a question. And you know what? If the damn fool idealistic crusader watches that, he probably has the laser disc of the Two Jakes.
Well, he needs to do some due diligence here and let me know which version of that movie I've been watching lately. So,
well, we need to get the damn fool idealistic crusader on this channel.
And beat up on him, or just
no, because I watch him. I mean, you know what he also reviews? Books.
Well, yeah, he reviews. He's reviewed my books. The thing that he liked by me, which I couldn't believe anybody even ever had discussed, was the Dick Tracy novelization I wrote, and the 2 Dick Tracy novels that I wrote up as follow-ups, and he loved them. So he can do no wrong with me, except when he gets into the Two Jakes, and then we got to talk.
Well, when he finds out that you actually own the key art, the actual painting that they used on the one sheet and the cover of that disc, maybe he will pay respect to where respect is earned.
but you know, this is about. I know we're going a little bit afield here. But I take this stuff in as a story. As
really?
Art.
Us go afield?
But I mean, I take all of these things in as art and storytelling. I don't sit there and say, you know, the pixels got to jump out at me before I notice them. Okay? I mean, I'm taking the ride. That's what I do with movies. That's what and so people that love movies in this kind of techie way, I'm a different animal. I'm just a totally different animal. So,
if only we could get you to watch foreign films, then we might have something.
Well, I watch a foreign film. I just watched a foreign film.
That's true.
Who do you think made Megray? Anyway, I recommend the Two Jakes, but I had a realization about this this is a new wrinkle in my Two Jakes ongoing review, but Chinatown is pretty much Dashiell Hammett, and the Two Jakes is Raymond Chandler, with that narration, and I happen to be wearing a T-shirt. Wait a minute, that has both Hammett and Chandler on it. Can you see that?
You know what I love about that shirt? You know what that says to the world?
What's that?
It doesn't matter how old we are, we can still wear our geeky T-shirts.
That's right. And my wife laid out a whole range of them for me to pick today, and I picked this one.
Yeah, well, you showed me a pinup, a painting or a picture. Was it a painting of your wife that you have there in the office that you can see right now?
I don't know if my grandson knows that.
That's why there's sex scenes in all your books. Just saying.
Well, I mean, the only person that gets to complain about sex to me is my wife. I don't listen to anybody else. That criticism I'll take. So,
well, that's what's made you a Zen master.
But speaking of sex, here's Boxcar.
Oh, look what we got! We got Martin Scorsese's feature Boxcar Bertha. But by the way, if you have not watched the 5-part Mr. Scorsese documentary on Apple, do yourself a favor and watch it. And this is, of course, Cinematograph, a partner label or a sub label or what I don't quite know, but Vinegar Syndrome does these great box sets, and this is one of them. And Max, take it away. What do you think?
Well, first of all, it's a rockin' box set. I mean, let's just look at these media books they do. There are 5 very good essays about Boxcar Bertha.
Yeah, they do. Cinematograph does a wonderful job. They do a fantastic job.
I love this. I had seen this. You know, one of the things that's kind of fun if you've been watching movies for a long, long time like you and I have, Rob. Although I've actually watched them longer than you have.
Well, Dieter's watched them as long as at least
Well,
someone here. Maybe.
I love the idea that I can have a movie I remember that I saw 30 years ago, and remember liking, but that's all I remember. Well, actually, I remembered the nude scenes in this movie.
Of course you did.
But
because why wouldn't you?
I could experience this for the first time on my second time, if that makes any sense at all.
Well, that's like sex. The first time you can't even believe you're there. It's only the second time that you really appreciate who you're with.
Yeah, and with any luck, it's the same night. So, but I tell you, this is a good movie. I think it's an underrated movie. It's very much in that little period of movies for about 6 years where everybody was trying to make Bonnie and Clyde. Because Bonnie and Clyde, I don't know if people realized how huge a deal Bonnie and Clyde, the Arthur Penn film, was. But that was seismic in the world of movies, and it was a huge hit. I mean, it was the kind of movie that the critics panned, and 2 weeks later, a bunch of them came back and said, "Hey, I was wrong about that movie. For the last 2 weeks, it's the only thing I can think of is that movie."
Have you watched the Mr. Scorsese documentary?
I have not seen it yet.
When he made Boxcar Bertha, he was part of the whole, he'd come out to Los Angeles and he was with the whole cadre of filmmakers that were out here, and he made the movie. Yeah, and do you know who hated it? John Cassavetes.
Well, I was reading about that. It's funny because you just mentioned Cassavetes.
But he told him your next movie should be what you are. Don't make this bullshit, like you just said. Don't do a Bonnie and Clyde thing. You need to go and do what you are, and that's what made him go make Mean Streets.
He actually said to him, "This is a really good film. This is not what you should be doing." Now, if you think about Cassavetes, he did a lot of stuff just to fund his movies, like Orson Welles. He'd take on gigs so that's a little hypocritical.
I mean, his like the Criterion box set of I hadn't even seen all of Cassavetes' movies, like Killing of a Chinese Bookie or Woman Under the Influence.
Right.
He was like you. He had a woman that inspired him.
He did.
He really did. A blonde. Come on now.
Speaking of women, inspiring women, Barbara Hershey is phenomenal in this movie. She's such a great actress. She always was a great actress. She was kind of dismissed early on in her career because she was not shy about disrobing, shall we say.
Well, no, and I can't wait to get my Radiance 4K box set of The Stuntman, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And she's amazing in it.
What else is coming is Last Summer.
Right.
Evan Hunter, who was Ed McCain. But she's wonderful in this movie because she's very sweet and naive, even as she's eventually becoming a prostitute. She's just experiencing life. And it's very much out of that kind of hippie. And both Carradine, who was her boyfriend in real life, and she had a child by him, they're the couple in this. And there's rumors, which she actually, I
love rumors.
Rumors that the sex scenes weren't faked, which because they were a couple, and they just we'll just let us know when the camera's off or on. I don't know which. But she has a sweetness in this movie, a naive kind of quality that is just wonderful, and they're all good. Carradine's good. Barry Primus is good. Bernie Casey is excellent, and there's a wonderful scene with David Carradine and his father, John Carradine, who's the closest thing this movie has to a villain. He's the head of the railroad, and it's just wonderful to see those two generations in one scene together, and they're both terrific in that. The problem with the movie, I would say, if there is one, is that it is. It's just one episode after another. It doesn't have any kind of through line. It doesn't have a plot. You have to be able to accept that it's just going to be about this. She hops boxcars, and
Right.
then she's in this hobo camp at near the railroad, and then she's in a hotel, and I mean there's very little linking scenes. It's almost like a deck that you could shuffle in different order if you were so inclined.
Our
But it's a good movie.
signal with
I
you is
think-
being degraded a bit. I don't know why.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Well, it did that to Dieter a little bit, but I think it'll come back. Anyway, that is a much better movie than it's cracked up to be.
Well,
and
you know what's
the next thing-
I was planning on picking that up. I mean, it's funny that Cinematograph put out Little Darlings,
Right.
and they put out the Gambler that I showed weeks ago that I have to move. I finally have to go file this stuff, but these box sets are terrific. I mean, they do, and they have really raided. They have raided Paramount's library. It's amazing to me. One of the reasons that I don't want Paramount to acquire Warner Brothers is Paramount has not. They've just given away. It's great because we've been able to get. I mean, I wish that Disney would do this with Fox, but between Kino Lorber, between Vinegar Syndrome, between a lot of these other companies, we have all these great catalog titles that Paramount themselves would never release on physical media. Never. Do you think if you went to David or Larry Ellison that they would put out the Two Jakes in 4K? Hell no.
I didn't think I'd ever see it in 4K.
Me neither. I that beautiful. I mean, we have to buy the nice box sets from Europe now. I mean, Arrow's a UK based company.
Well, I have a box set to talk about now.
And let's. Why don't you? Hang on. Let me give you. So why don't you tell us about this? It's from Germany.
Well, this is a really good. I mean, it's a 4K of The Frighteners. It has both cuts of. I haven't looked at the original cut because that's what I saw in the theaters. This is the director's cut. It is jam-packed. It has, if you can believe this, and you may recall this from the Laserdisc, and I actually pulled my Laserdisc out because it was at one time the holy grail for Laserdisc collectors.
Wait, did you take it out? Oh, look! Oh my God! Yeah, look at that. Remember those signature collections? I by the way, I still have my Jaws signature collection, and you have the same vinyl covers I used to have for. Yep.
This was very tough to find even when it was on its first release.
Yep.
It was kind of a holy grail. And one of the reasons it was a holy grail is because this sounds crazy, but there's like a 4.5 hour documentary that Peter Jackson put together about behind the scenes of it's the making of The Frighteners, twice as long as The Frighteners.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's a new documentary that's an hour and a half. So you've got, I mean, if you're interested in Peter Jackson, if you like this movie, that's where you should come. Now, I have to admit to you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this Rob and Dieter. I loved this movie when it came out. I didn't like it as much this time. There were things that just bothered me.
It's goofy, dude. I am not. Peter Jackson to me, there are two Peter Jacksons. There is the how do I say this? You know what? There's the Hobbit Peter Jackson, and there's the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
And the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson made Heavenly Creatures. And then there's movies that he made that are in between, like Dead Alive, or it's kind of in between both. Bad Taste is Frighteners Peter Jackson, but I like Bad Taste. There's Meet the Feebles.
That's actually my favorite Peter Jackson movie.
Meet the Feebles, for as filthy as it is Lord of the is Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson. Meet the Feebles is definitely Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson. So he and I'll tell you something. The Lovely Bones is a movie that's at war with itself because you have both Lord of the Rings and you have Hobbit Peter Jackson fighting in Lovely Bones. And King Kong is more Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson, but there's a lot of Hobbit Peter Jackson in it as well. That's also kind of at war. Frighteners is too much Hobbit Peter Jackson for me.
Well, it has. Listen, I still like the movie. I still find.
Yeah,
it
I do too.
It's a glorious mess.
Yes.
Like
The Hobbit.
That's another one for you, Peter. A glorious mess. You can jot that one down.
Glorious mess, yeah.
Yeah, but it has. First of all, New Zealand is not made into a convincing America. It never feels like America.
No.
And then you also have a tone that I don't know if anybody could have achieved, because it goes from Ghostbusters, to
pretty brutal sometimes.
I mean,
with the flashback.
It's really hard to unite those, but it's full of good ideas.
Yep.
And there's some really, I mean, you know who's in that movie? A fellow who was in The Reanimator.
Oh, I know.
Jeffrey Combs.
Who's also
this is hemorrhoid pillow.
Who's also in True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak, who plays the titular Anton Cermak, and he's great, by the way. He's always great.
And he's great in The Frighteners too. It's a hilariously funny performance, but there's a place where he has to where he turns sinister, where you're like, what? It's that the comedy relief is now a menace. I don't know. Is it a ghost story? Is it a horror movie? Is it a comedy? And there's another thing that is, I may be completely full of shit on this one, okay? But he uses two real-life serial killers in this movie to combine into his fictional serial killer team. One is Charlie Starkweather and the Fugate. I forget what her first name was. The characters that were used in Badlands, basically. Yeah. And he also uses basically Richard Speck, who killed the dozen nurses.
Yeah.
Now, he was living in New Zealand when all of that went down, and I don't know how old he is, but I can tell you that I lived in Iowa, still do, when Charlie Starkweather and his girlfriend were out killing people randomly throughout the Midwest, and it was in the papers every day. It was very disturbing. And the same was true of Richard Speck. That was very disturbing. These young nurses that were killed. And, he maybe had distance from New Zealand that made that feel like, I'm not saying it's not fair game, but, in a kind of comedy movie, I don't know. It bothered me. It didn't bother me when I saw it years ago, because I was indiscriminate, I guess, about what I liked.
Well, I love hearing the idea about serial killers or murder, or that it bothers us.
Well,
there's something charming about that, Max.
It was. There's some very good plotting. There's some very clever stuff in this. I mean, it's definitely. And if you're interested in Peter Jackson, if you're interested in horror, you should see this. This, I have to say, it looks to me like this is already this is the German. This is
from Turbine.
Yeah, it's the big Turbine.
Turbine has the exclusive rights for the 4K.
It's already getting hard to find, because film buffs want this.
Well, it's been out for a while. Yeah, it is tough.
Well, it was. I think this particular iteration is fairly recent, because it just got offered to me by Diabolique maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, because they have too many of them.
Is that right?
I think that Turbine, when they put this out, this is a big prestige title for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
I have the big box set.
Yeah, they had a big box set of it and stuff, and I
Well,
that's why I did not buy it. I did not buy it.
Well, I'd like to ask Dieter what your opinion of the Frighteners is.
I can understand, Max, that it's always good to refresh your memory on movies, and sometimes you change your opinion on a movie that you thought I loved it way more than I do now. And considering horror, mixing horror and comedy, that's always a tough thing to do. Mixing these two types of genres, that's not an easy task. But I still like the Frighteners, and I was just happy that we finally got the director's cut in 4K. That Turbine had the exclusive rights, did all the homework with Peter Jackson to finally give us this version as a 4K.
For sure.
So I still like the movie, and you can see in at least the Frighteners the first, I would say, steps to the ring rates in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
That
Oh,
he
for
did
sure.
With the Grim Reaper a little bit. So for me, I still like the movie, but like you, I wouldn't say I'm in love with it. But the box set was awesome that Turbine put out back in the day.
Well, and you mentioned horror comedy, and yet there's Evil Dead 2.
Certainly, so it can be done. I didn't say it can't be done, Max, but it's really tough to combine for me horror and comedy.
You know what did it really well recently was Cold Storage.
I haven't gotten to see that.
Cold Storage was I saw it with Alvaro in the theater. I really enjoyed it, and I thought they did like Return of the Living Dead or Night of the Comet. You know.
Yeah. And perhaps Max, it could be, I don't know. Perhaps that the CGI stuff could be a little bit dated from Frighteners, considering the ghosts. Perhaps.
You know, I was very impressed by the special effects, 1996 special effects. I think that the thing that
so weird to hear you say. I was impressed by the 1996 special effects.
Well, yeah, it's pretty impressive. But here's something that really bothers me, and I think I'd love to have both of you guys talk about this a little bit. One of my big problems with seeing Frighteners this time was there didn't seem to be any rules for the ghosts. The ghosts could be killed. Sometimes they could walk through walls. Other times they got caught you couldn't get through the wall. When you're doing fantasy, I'm going to talk to the fantasy guy, Rob over here. But when you're doing fantasy, don't the rules have to be just as specific as in real life?
That's what I've always said. I mean, I think with science fiction, fantasy, and horror, when you're world building, your ghouls or your entities or whatever the supernatural is has to be governed by a set of rules. Because you know what's really interesting? Like okay, this is a lot of people might. I know Dave Parker would hate me for saying this. Enough of your philosophy about horror. He said that to me on the set of Hills Run Red. I'm like, dude, we have to. He's like, not enough. But like I have conversations with Alvaro about this too. Like even if you assume that the supernatural exists. Let's say it does exist. We just don't yet understand because in our limited state of knowledge in the plane of existence we live on, we don't quite get the supernatural. But let's assume the supernatural, like for instance, we know that in vampire mythology, there are certain things that apply, like the cross, Catholic imagery, right? Now, a movie like Fright Night, when Jerry Dandridge could come up and crush Peter Vincent's cross, it's because Peter Vincent doesn't believe in Catholicism.
Yeah.
His belief in God isn't strong enough. I like that. You have to have faith for this to work on me, Mr. Vincent. That makes sense because it's belief. Now, belief then becomes a thing. Like there's energy. There's an actual physicality even within the supernatural realm of belief. Now, whether what you believe in is real or not, your belief gives you a certain energy or strength. But if you think about vampirism, which a lot of it comes out of Catholicism, if you think about the fact that let's just assume hell is real, that Satan exists. When God created the universe, there is the natural and the supernatural. There are angels that are governed by rules. Lucifer, morning star, first of the fallen, thrown out of heaven. You know, if those things, then the supernatural, like God would not just make everything happen willy-nilly. Even in the supernatural realm, angels would be governed by a certain code of conduct. And once you think to yourself, like in Hellraiser, the Cenobites don't just fucking appear. You have to summon them. Your mortality, you're mortal, you get this, so you've never had great sex in your life, so you're going to open the lament configuration, and uh-oh, here come the Cenobites, and the Cenobites are like, bro, you called us. We didn't call you.
It's your fault.
And now we're going to tear your soul apart. And I think all of that stuff makes great storytelling worthwhile, especially in the horror, fantasy, and science fiction genres. And when people say to me, well, Rob, nowadays I think that young people who don't fucking read are much more susceptible to just accepting a bunch of willy-nilly stuff because they don't think, they just, I'm like, whatever, okay.
Well, think about in Sinners, how much hinges on just that they have to be invited into the...
That was why you got to do that? Why you got to ask? That's my favorite scene in a movie last year is that scene on the porch when the homeboy comes back. I forget his name. I just say homeboy. I say homeboy for anybody who, you know, has nothing to do with race or anything like that. I'm just saying the guy comes back. I forget the character's name. And he asks, I got to come back in. And the girl's like, why you got to do that? Like, she's the smartest one. She's the one. She's like, you're dead. I love, because she knew, because the rules apply to everyone, even the dead.
And you can, in your horror story or your fantasy story or your science fiction story, you can change the rules if you say that they're changed.
Yeah.
If it's like, oh no, it's a vampire story. So, oh, that's just nonsense that you can't. Their reflections can't be seen in a mirror. That makes that go away. Otherwise,
like in Catherine Bigelow's Near Dark.
Yeah.
You know, but Sunlight has a physical, like her vampires were physical. You can be immortal, but Sunlight, you know, or the cleansing power of that. But yeah, but that's, you have to set up if you want to play with those rules, you have to set them up and pay them off. If there's no rules, the horror doesn't work.
If you don't, you're just a lazy, sloppy storyteller.
That's why Alvaro and I argued about, we argued about The Ring in the parking lot like 3 weeks ago. We had like an hour-long argument about Samara and the whole phone call after we'd seen Undertone and all that. It's just so funny.
Well, I think I love this conversation. I think I'm done with what I wanted to present. I should also mention that I did finish a Japanese Godfather trilogy with my son Nate, and it's fun. It's terrific. It ends in there's a lot of action. There's a lot of boardroom scenes, as we talked about last week, but there's still a lot of action, and it really goes to a sorrowful but satisfying conclusion.
Nice.
And so I do recommend that. I should probably revise the fact that I said I had a 10-year-old son. I do not have a 10-year-old son. I have a 10-year-old grandson.
Well,
so, who I'm introducing to this stuff. And I think, Rob, my son and I are going to take him to Project Hail Mary this week. He said he wants to see it. He's 10.
Okay.
Wow.
Perfect. Because it's a kid's movie, Max. That's it.
Wow, Dieter.
It is, Max. It is. You can easily take it with him. You can rate it at movie PG. Well, it's even PG-13.
It
I
is
have no
PG.
idea. I have no idea.
So I'm trying to think I don't know if I have anything that special that happened at the.
See, well, that's okay.
No, it's. I mean, the ice we had in the pool for our skating competition, it's now like the weather in Iowa is like on Monday it was like 20 below, and yesterday it was like 80. I mean, it's just
Wow.
it's all over the place. So
Woollyman.
yeah. So
Well,
I'll
Max,
see if I can't get another another promotional event at the
There-
Sea Wing.
there
Bring some
is
money.
there's a couple of super chats. Paul Bernardo says, "Hi Max, I'm currently reading 1957 hardcover reprint of The Maltese Falcon, and then we'll start on Return of the Maltese Falcon, and reading makes you smarter."
That's, and I think I've told you before that that's one of the most satisfying things about the Return of the Maltese Falcon.
Yeah.
Is the people who say they're either going to go now read the Maltese Falcon after reading my book, or they're going to read the Maltese Falcon before they read my book. And I love the idea that I'm bringing people to these books.
That's great. I mean, actually, here's another thing. Richard Curtis says, "Was it Max or Dieter who talked about Sunset Warriors last week?" Either way, thanks.
Max.
It
Last
was
week.
Max.
Yeah.
Either
Max-
way, it
Max
was
showed the
great,
title.
and I haven't seen the director's cut yet.
Oh, the director's cut is amazing. Very
Major. Oh, this is a good question. Major Chai Chai asks, "What are the new dates for the Putnam events?" Our Putnam Museum event has been postponed until the end of April, early May. I'm not sure if we have a date that has been settled upon, but we do have the Maltese Falcon. We can get the Maltese Falcon to show, which is great. But I don't know what the new date is. But the museum wanted more time to promote it.
Yes.
Richard Curtis asks, "Has anyone here seen 10 Rillington Place, A Matter of Life and Death, or Gandhi? All in one way or another, Richard Attenborough is involved." I have seen, Gandhi. I've not seen 10 Rillington Place or A Matter of Life and Death. What say you, Max?
Well, 10 Rillington Place is one of the most disturbing serial killer movies, because the man is very human and very ordinary, and it is actually scarier than something like Michael Myers or Freddy. And he was a real guy. I mean, this is like a sweet little guy who had, I don't know, 12 people buried in his backyard. Yeah. Everybody needs a hobby. I don't want to be critical. Everybody needs a hobby.
And by the way, there are many different versions of 10 Rillington Place on physical media. I would suggest everybody pick up the Indicator version. And John Hurt, Judy Geeson, and Richard Attenborough are in it, and you can get it for only $20. So there you go.
It's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's a feel-good Christmas movie or anything, but it's a definitely the group I'm talking to right now would find it probably pretty entertaining.
We'll take it. So, all right, man. Well, we're caught up.
All right. I'll see if I can find some things for next week.
Yeah, and by the way, Jurassic Joey has been a member for 23 months, and Luis Feliciano, we're going to get to you in a minute. 8-Bit Sight says Project Hail Mary is full of a guy named Grace, the Lord, and Miller are with thee. I cried too, Rob. Karaoke scene and 2 of the Rocky scenes. Yeah, you should. You're going to see that. Richard Curtis says Henning, whose surname is Wen, W-H-E-N. Spell it to Dieter, and he can probably tell you how to pronounce it. Dieter, how do you pronounce W-H-E-N? Actually, it's W-E-H-N.
Yeah, Henning Wen, but still, I don't know him. not heard of him.
Well, don't
even
know.
with his second name, doesn't ring a bell.
By the way, this is a good one. Richard Curtis sends in another a final thing. He says, The Lost Boys, Edward Herrmann's reflection was visible because he'd been invited in. Also, he was freaked out briefly because he hadn't seen his own reflection in so long. Well, again, that's playing with the mythos.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, if you're, you're invited in, then you can be seen. But you have to establish that, or at least show it, or do something.
Yeah. And do it in a clever way, so it isn't just exposition.
Right.
Gotta be a real writer, guys. Gotta be a real writer.
And you know what that means? You have to read. Read. Well, Max, we will let you go, sir.
We better put on that sticker only for adults on the return of the Maltese Falcon. Only for adults sticker.
It's true.
Guys, thank you for inviting me in.
Well, we're happy to have you.
We're happy to have you.
So, all good, Maxie Max. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the great Max Allen Collins. We will let him go. Dieter, it's back to us. We will let Max go. You and I.
You were caught up with all super chats, Rob?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
We are caught up.
So I think the news.
It's the news. Well, Dieter, I titled this. I gave you a little Shakespeare, a little allusion to Shakespeare. Now, I was very curious to get your take on this.
Yeah.
Arrow, our beloved Arrow, out of nowhere, probably the biggest physical media release news in a long time. People obviously beat us to the punch on this, but all 5 seasons of Stranger Things are getting released in a box set. Has anyone quoted? Have you seen the price of this yet?
Yeah, there are 4 editions, Rob. Blu-ray, 4K, and then for the Blu-ray and the 4K deluxe edition. So you get 4 different variations of that box.
And how much are they?
A lot, Rob. And for me, at the moment, I have to say, Rob, no, I'm not purchasing Stranger Things.
I'm not either. I have no interest.
Perhaps if the price drops, but I have to say, Rob, I always thinking about the last season. If the last season would really have been a total banger, and you would have really a nice, a big finish. But the longer I thought about the 5th season, I came really down on it. So for me, I'm not in a hurry, Rob. If it's perhaps for a Schnäppchen price, yes, but I'm not in a hurry to get it. It's awesome. It's totally awesome that we get this from Arrow. All 5 seasons of Stranger Things. But let's face it, Stranger Things will never leave the Netflix server. Never. You can always watch Stranger Things.
That's the whole thing. I mean, for me, the thing about Stranger Things is it belongs on Netflix. It's owned by Netflix. I have no reason. This is a weird.
I totally. On the contrary, Rob, I definitely will purchase K-pop Demon Hunters. It was one of my favorite movies last year. I loved the movie.
Of course.
It's just a movie, and it's in a fair price range, considering the big box set, Rob, is £200, which would be what, $300, $260.
The thing. Here's my thing about Stranger Things. The reason I'll never buy it is because I don't think it's very good. I mean,
okay, Rob.
I
loved it, but the last season.
I love the first season of Stranger Things. I thought the first season of Stranger Things was incredible. But you know what I don't like about Stranger Things, and it's kind of what lost me on. What is the Upside Down? Where did it come from? And you're telling me that maybe it started.
So what we had talked about 5 minutes ago, setting the rules exactly.
There was no there. At the end of the day, you're watching. All I needed to know about Stranger Things was set up in the first season, and that was it. They never ever moved beyond it. Whether it was the Mind Flayer or Vecna or whatever the fuck it is, none of those characters. Those were just made up entities that came. They didn't have any more ideas beyond the setup. And they threw in, they just borrowed from here and borrowed from there, and they added more characters. I don't give a shit. And it has at the end of the story, I learned nothing. There's no resonance to me. I don't take away from what, I mean, to me, Stranger Things is what keeps the modern age from being great. There's a lot of great stuff in Stranger Things. I thought the first season was amazing. But
it is one of the staples of Netflix. And
but let me ask you this,
totally
like you
happy
said,
that,
why are they doing this?
It's one of the big hits of Netflix, Rob, and it's finished, and you can get a TV show as a complete set in 4K even. That's great. But for me, I'm not in a rush to get Stranger Things on Blu-ray.
I will never be in a rush, but I'm happy for the people that want to buy it.
Yeah,
I just find it interesting.
Awesome. They give you four options, Rob. 2 Blu-ray options: normal version, deluxe version, 4K, normal, deluxe. Yeah, of course, different price ranges. If at some point you get a zero, the deluxe version for perhaps £100, perhaps then I can say no anymore. But at the moment, not in a rush to get Stranger Things or pre-order it, or be in a hurry that I don't get my copy of it. Not really. Stranger Things will always be available on Netflix. Always.
Always. Of course, it's never going to go anywhere. I'll tell you what I'm more interested in is this. Scarlet.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a big fan.
Already pre-ordered.
Yeah, a big fan of this. Obviously.
Not good things. Not good things.
Academy Award nominated filmmaker Mamoru Hosoda, who Best Animated Feature Mirai from 2018. Time-bending animated adventure Scarlet, a medieval-era sword-fighting princess on a dangerous quest to avenge the death of her father. After failing at her mission and finding herself gravely injured in the other world, she encounters an idealistic young man from our present day who not only helps her to heal, but shows her the possibility of a future free of bitterness and rage. Bring it on. I love stuff like this. Yeah. I'm in.
Played even in theaters.
Yep. Great stuff. Then we have Bridesmaids. The unrated Bridesmaids is coming out.
One of the not so good Oscar jokes with the page, and reading it, and it did go on and on. Holy moly! Okay.
This will be the 15th anniversary for to me, of all the stuff that's coming out, I mean, that's what we get. Bridesmaids. Well, okay.
Unrated, and
Universal's putting it on. I thought this movie's hilarious. I'll probably end up buying it. Now let's come on over. Let's zip on over to Criterion. One of my favorite movies that they've ever released is coming out finally on 4K. DVD. I mean, they've released this a lot, but Charade in 4K. The best movie Alfred Hitchcock never directed. Stanley Donen directed Charade. I love this movie. It's coming out in 4K from Criterion. I'm surprised it took them this long. And then we're getting a movie, we're getting Bob Rafelson's 5 Easy Pieces. This is another great film from the 70s. Who doesn't love this? And I actually love this movie. So I don't know if Studio Canal already put it out. I forget, but okay. I'm in. Count me in. Great choice.
Not sure.
Then Lisa Cholodenko's High Art, one of those movies that defined the indie film movement of the 90s and things like that.
Yeah.
This is her debut feature. All about the New York art scene and, of course, a spicy queer romance. Ali Sheedy's in here and Patricia Clarkson and Rhoda Mitchell, and I like this movie. I will definitely pick this up. And now let me go back to one of our super chats. Louis Feliciano says, finally, in The Rock's voice, Hairspray from 1988 and Desperate Living are coming to the Criterion Collection. I'm a big John Waters fan. And you know what? Here we go. Criterion, Desperate Living. I love this cover, by the way. What a great cover. John Waters' Desperate Living and John Waters' Hairspray coming out from the Criterion Collection. What's not to love with both of these? Chock-a-block full of stuff. Obviously, a new 4K restoration, HDR presentation. Amazing. And Dolby Vision will be present on Hairspray. So, what's not to love? And I don't know. Everything is there to love. So, there you go. Now, they're also releasing West Indies, The Fugitive Slaves of Liberty, but there was no disc for that. There's no cover for that. But what are you going to do? But it's coming out. Then we also have It Was Just an Accident. The winner of the Palme d'Or from Iranian auteur Jafar Panahi. A chance encounter sets in motion an urgent moral thriller. Obviously, this was a great movie from last year. What's not to love?
Actually, Rob, considering the cover artwork, it looks like an older movie than it actually is.
No, it's a new movie. I know, right?
Yeah.
But definitely something to pick up. And then we have Magellan. Magellan, a hypnotic journey engraved in images of staggering beauty and horror. This monumental achievement from Lav Diaz boldly rewrites the imperialist myth-making of the Age of Discovery. Elegantly minimalist, yet overpowering in its scale and impact, Magellan follows a 16th century Portuguese explorer, Ferdinand Magellan, of course played by Gael Garcia Bernal, as he embarks on his epochal quest to cross the Pacific. So there you go. Hey, what's not to love? And then finally, a new Eclipse series version upgraded, which I love these movies. Carlos Saura's Flamenco Trilogy. One of Spanish cinema's great auteurs, Carlos Saura brought international audiences closer to the art of his country's dance than any other filmmaker before or since. In his Flamenco Trilogy, Blood Wedding, Carmen, and El Amor Brujo, Saura managed his passion for music with these explorations of national identity, all starring and choreographed by legendary dancer Antonio Garas. The films feature thrilling physicality and electrifying cinematography and editing. I like all three of these movies. I saw them all in the theater. Can't wait to get this. Then we go to this. DIFA, as of course Eureka has released the DIFA crime thrillers and the sci-fi movies, but it was Deaf Crocodile who put out the first two of those in the English, or here in America. So these are the DIFA fairy tales. DIFA was the studio that was in West Germany that was in the 60s and 70s trying to compete with the United States and Britain putting out movies. So, and Deaf Crocodile does such an amazing job. So they're prepping a limited edition and regular Blu-ray editions of the DIFA fairy tales from 61 through 79. These their two releases are scheduled to arrive on the market this April. The wildly surreal music and color-saturated world of the fairy tale films of East Germany's DIFA studios are one of the great still overlooked subgenres in the world fantasy filmmaking. Part Sid and Marty Krofft Saturday morning kiddie psychedelia, part sturdy socialist moralizing. These films are one of the most popular genres from the 50s to the 70s. And they're putting out, here we got Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood, Mother Hulda, Frau Holle. Is that how you pronounce that?
Frau Holle.
Yeah, Frau Holle. The Devil's Three Golden Hairs, Verritzt den Gleich Worm Tempel Os. Sorry, is that how you pronounce it? Verritzt den Gleich Worm Teufel Os. Whatever. And then there's I can't pronounce this. Schmetz.
I would need to look that up myself, Rob.
Snow White and Rose Red. Anyway, hey, that's what we're getting. So there you go. I think these are worth getting. I think anything Deaf Crocodile puts out is worth getting. Why not get these? Now here comes something I'm really interested in. Not this, but this is coming from Kino Lorber. Brit Noir, they do great putting out these collections. Very interested in getting the Brit Noir collection number 2. So that's exciting. And then we have this coming out. Great Absence. Great Absence Film Movement is putting this out. This movie is from 2023. It is a Japanese film. When working actor Takashi receives a jarring call from the police, he's forced to reconnect with his estranged father of 20 years. And he has to trace the past of his father he has long refused to accept. Unfolding as a meditation on loss of time, identity, and familial closeness never fully grasped, Great Absence is a delicately devastating award-winning drama from rising star Kei Chakakura that navigates the fragile terrain of memory, estrangement, and the quiet devastation of aging. Hey, sounds good to me. Then we have this. Terror Train from Kino Lorber. One of in the post-Halloween era, Jamie Lee Curtis, Scream Queen that she is, starred in Terror Train. I always liked Terror Train, to be honest. So happy to get this in 4K from Kino Lorber. Then we have Billy Crystal in Mr. Saturday Night. MGM's putting this one out. So, what's not to love? And then we have Miranda coming from Shameless. More Tinto Brass, Tits and Ass. What's not to love? And then we've got Primal. Primal Season 3. There you go. And I don't know what happened to my... what? There's a lot of images that I had got that don't seem to be here. So let me just quickly go back to you, Dieter, and
okay.
and ask you as I look. I have to look and find out what's missing.
Okay. I have the details here, Rob, and since you have a German here on the show, let's I will tell you how the title.
Please.
How the titles are. We have Snow White. No, we have Riding Hood, Rotkäppchen, and we have Mother Hulda, Frau Holle. Then we have the Devil's Three Golden Hairs. Is wer reißt gleich Teufel aus? And we have Snow White and Rose Red, which is Schneewittchen und Rosenrot. Those are the German titles for it. And you have probably noticed, Rob, is up because put it out here, Rob. This was the Leitner, the big, the turbine. Germany, which had the parts, the Bannister card were in it. The order discs were in Digipack at the back, and then this was the Digi that was in box set. And this comes actually, Rob, with 6 discs. There were the director's cut on 4K, the theatrical cut on 4K and Blu-ray, and we had a separate bonus material discs. And let me just see, is this perhaps the soundtrack? No, open net version of the movie was in there. In that,
so they went all out, is what you're saying?
Yeah, correct. Rob. This was the big box set, and you had 2 different cover variations. I decided for that one, but there were actually 2 variations of the cover artwork. And Max got a little bit smaller, the smaller media book, okay, which is fine too, Max. Which is fine too. So Rob, while you're getting the covers, should I do the live chat perhaps a little bit?
Yeah, why not? Why not do the live chat?
Okay.
I'll leave it on you, and I don't know why half of my my things disappeared.
Okay. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media, we were really early last week, which we're happy about because the Oscars were taking place, so I could take a nap before the Oscar started. And Alpital did started. I guess there are 100 because Rob had some trouble with this Wirecast at the beginning of the month. Alpital said, I guess there are 183 minutes in Rob's internet contract if you broadcast before 12 a.m. David Rose, considering I had a little bit of a bow tie here, I hope this was about it. This does look epic. I hope this was about that. And Rulat says, getting some Joker vibes from Dieter. And Roy Nasser says, who were you wearing, Dietz? Well, a really cheap bow tie for probably $3. And Castle Grayskull says, cute bow tie. And Das Plato says, what bow tie to rule them all? Yeah, considering how shiny it is. Fuvish Hemwicken says, Sinners is so overrated, took me weeks to finish. Well, okay. And Kevin Wellburn, okay, no, this was not it. So Rulat says, considering the Oscars, I don't really care to watch the actual show anymore. I just keep tabs on the winners through the night. And the Alex Sorba says, I'll watch Film Thread coverage for a few minutes in hope Rob will provide some bonus entertainment. Yeah, we all
I was supposed
remember
to.
that, but
yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, but Rob was, as far as I know, was not on Film Thread. Alpital 666. There is no audience in Germany for something like The Bride, because I told Rob The Bride started here at number 18 in the box office. But Alpital, not just here, everywhere in the world, there seems to be no audience. Rulat 66611. There's a 17mm showing near me, so I'm going on Thursday. Speaking of Project Hail Mary. The Captain Deadpool says, will they ever release The Village on 4K or Blu-ray from the Sharemember? I hope so, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. The Village. Yeah, I had a good time with The Village. I loved the twist of the movie. Didn't see it coming, Rob. I was quite surprised. So if The Village in 4K, yeah, I would be down to it. Joshua Gonzalez, considering Project Hail Mary. I'm seeing it in 70mm IMAX next Sunday. And Steve Cantanio says, looking great today, Rob and Dieter. And Alex Sorba, considering The Bride, says, answered Altmetall what I said. This is the same thing. Apparently there is no audience on the planet for it. And I said, I expected a little bit of a different movie considering Project Hail Mary. And Jay Eldred says, this is why I don't read novels. It might get in the way of my enjoyment of a film. Joshua Gonzalez says, I don't know if I'm gonna like the no science part. Like Rob says, it's comedy first, science second. Rulat. So maybe they deserve to be fired from Solo. I actually was thinking the same thing, considering Project Hail Mary, and I thought, I can see it now, Gaslit.
Tough fucking crowd.
I can see it now. David Rose, does the movie have an ET feeling? When you can get into Rocky? Yeah, certainly. Alex Fleener, there are comedic moments in the book, but it's not supposed to be just a comedy, which the movie is. G. Aldrich, sometimes expecting too much can be disappointing. Yeah, like our Max Allen Collins says, a well-made disappointment. Yeah. Roy Nasser, War Machine is escapist popcorn fun. I enjoyed it after listening to politicians here in Denmark for 2 hours. Great escapism. Joshua Gonzalez, the Devil's that I showed. Okay. Alex Lina, is there a Conan the Barbarian 4K? Come on, Alex. You're trolling now. 4K Conan the Barbarian.
They might not know.
Oh, Rob. Come on. Like almost a trolling. Paul and Brunotto. I would Black Sunday. Black Sunday. Star Wars Lego Rob. Hello, Max. You absolute legend. Was just saying, so I didn't brought it up when Max was here. The Brucho. I still think showing Rocky in trailers was a big mistake. Not sure about it. Could be. Perhaps not. Most people seem to love it. And Paul and Brunotto goes on. Yes, Cynthia Rothrock in Beyond Justice. It is one of Cynthia's better movies. Definitely. The Alex Sorber goes on. Considering Max were poking the bear with that little bit of show that finally ended with the first season. And he said, Max, why? Oh, red alert. Yep. The rent was coming. Major Chai says, style over substance is Starfleet Academy. Major Chai, not even that. Because I am a style over substance guy when it comes to movie. Not even that can bring me to watch the show. The Alex Sorber Road to Perdition, as we always say, needs a 4K. Tom, 1593. I watch the Oscars every year. I still enjoy it. And he says, I am pulling for a Kate Hudson upset. That would have been a nice upset if that would have happened. And this is great, Major Chai. Max talked about the McRae movie, and Major Chai says, I wanted to watch a McRae movie and had to either subscribe to something else or pay. So she was looking for a McRae movie, couldn't find anything on the streaming service, just that she subscribed to. Paul and Brunotto, I saw Epic, and it was Epic, the Elvis Presley movie. Energy. Is there a movie? Oh, that I forgot to ask Max. I will save that for next week because he wants to know. I forgot that. If Max thinks there's a better movie 2025 that he liked more than the Oscar nominees, I will bring that up next week again. Or perhaps I will write him an email and put it in next week. And Huck's Pub Culture Cafe wants to know, Rob, I've been asking Warner Archive to release Mosquito Coast. What's your take on that movie? Rob, I haven't seen Mosquito Coast in forever, actually.
I'm a huge fan of Mosquito Coast. George Feltenstein's very aware of Mosquito Coast. Okay. And
wasn't there a show on Apple?
Yeah, they redid
Mosquito
it.
Coast show on Apple? Okay.
So,
but I haven't seen that movie in
So remember, they've made a huge deal with Arrow to release Warner titles, and we're seeing the fruits of that every month now. So,
okay,
really incredible. I mean, hell, we're even getting that new Speed Racer disc. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So,
Real Thomas Logan, considering Nolan movies, Tenet is truly ridiculous. I'll give you that one, Bobby. You got one. You got one from Thomas. That's not happening every week. This was a super chat that came in really late. We forgot it, Rob, so I put it here in the live chat. From Fu Wisham Wiccan, I hope I said it correctly. Sounds like Project Hail Mary is children. For children.
Well, it's got more than that.
But it's for children. What have I... I still to watch of Arthur, though I've wait for them. Unfortunately, not seen Spartacus.
Your microphone your microphone's pinging. By the way, your microphone's like, I don't know if it's too hot or what.
Okay.
It's crackling. Just saying.
It's crackling. Okay, but I'm through.
Justin Toner says, "Hi guys. I just I just wanted to let Rob know that Justin Toner watched To Live and Die in L.A." You go, Justin. You watched To Live and Die in L.A. as you should. And Justin says, Peterson as Richard Chance was incredible. Now I have to get the 4K from Kino. Excited for Kurosawa's Stray Dog in 4K and Point Blank in 4K from Criterion. Yeah, I know, right? Let me jump back into the news. Now,
yeah,
my beloved Second Sight. 2 new ones. The original was Stellan Skarsgård. The original Insomnia that Christopher Nolan remade in the United States. The original. There it is, coming out in a beautiful box set from Second Sight. What's not to love? And they're following that up with The Devil's Candy. Have you seen this, Dieter?
I have seen it, Rob, but I'm a little bit lost on the memory of it. But I will probably get both of those movies.
Yeah, what's not to love? I
remember Devil's Candy with the guitar, barely.
Yep. Well, then you know what? That's what they're here for, to bring these to you. Now, this is something that I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
Elevator. Do you know this?
I pre-ordered that, Rob.
Oh, you did pre-order Elevator.
Yeah.
It's actually
I'm not sure about it, but okay.
Elevator, The Bottled Fools. Now, Treasured Films is releasing this, and Elevator, The Bottled Fools is from 2003. Now, listen to this.
Ooh, okay.
Elevator is set almost entirely in a transport elevator that shuttles citizens between futuristic towns stacked on top of one another. And a hellish scenario unfolds. Amongst the postmodern masses that squeeze into the public transport, cell phone addicted businessmen clones a child with a human brain as a pet, leather clad militant law enforcers, and a 17-year-old schoolgirl with the psychic ability to receive visions from each person on board. Oppressive paranoia builds when a pair of convicted homicidal rapists join the ride and escape from their abusive police escorts. Claustrophobic sets, a rabble of strange and detailed characters, and bursts of excessive violence set the stage for an explosion of chaos in this psychologically charged dystopian sci-fi drama. Okay. Tell me that isn't catnip. I have to see that. So that's what is Elevator, The Bottled Fools. I don't even know what this is, but I'm buying it.
Me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. And by the way, it's 18. It's got an 18.
Sure. Yeah, it's got an 18 certificate.
So there you go. Then we have Adam Sandler in Click. Sony's releasing a pair. We got Click, and we have 50 First Dates. So there you go. Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. Again, this is what we're getting on 4K, but I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting them. So there you go.
Like Max said, Rob, such comedies would be fine just on Blu-ray. But okay.
Now, here's a film I don't know anything about. The Cinema Guild has announced that it will release this film. It is...
Belle Hupert. Okay.
I know, there you go. Hang on a second. I have to zoom in so I can read it. Nearly a century after its big screen debut, Lewis Milestone's romantic comedy has been fully restored by the San Francisco Film Preserve. So this is almost 100 years old. So there you go. Coming out. Good to see. And then speaking of going back into antiquity, Corinne Griffith's The Garden of Eden is coming out. And The Garden of Eden, to get this straight, as I'm looking and somehow I've lost it, but Flicker Alley. And this is from 1928, starring Corinne Griffith, Louise Dresser, Lowell Sherman, and Maude George. And this shows up on May 5th. And nearly a century after its big screen debut, Millstone's romantic comedy has been fully restored by the San Francisco Film Preserve in collaboration with the George Eastman Museum and the Library of Congress, and arrives with a brilliant new score composed by Stephen Horn and Frank Bockless. And it's got production designed by William Cameron Menzies, who directed the original Invaders from Mars. So there you go. That's coming out. And then we have Brian Fuller from Lionsgate's Dust Bunny coming in 4K.
Nice.
Love this movie. Love seeing it. Yay. Then we have Swashbuckler, this British movie that apparently played on TV a lot for the Brits, with Robert Shaw. Kino Lorber is putting this out, and it's directed by James Goldstone. And Robert Shaw, James Earl Jones, Peter Boyle, Geneviève Bujold, and Beau Bridges are in this masterpiece. And this came out the year after Jaws. And this is a lusty, rollicking pirate adventure. So I'm sure the Brits can tell you what it is. Now, my favorite thing, as I said,
it's certainly not One Piece.
No, it's not One Piece. The Ninth Gate, a favorite of mine. I'm so happy this is coming out. You can go read my article right now on Lionsgate Limited. The link is in the description. And no, Dean Corso did not know he was the devil. He is not the devil. He is a mortal man. That's the whole point. I know Thomas is like gritting his teeth. But here it is. This looks terrific. And I can't wait to get it. I love this movie. I love Wojciech Kilar's score. I love everything about this film. And that's a great steelbook. Love it. That's coming out. And then we have The Stoned Age, which is another Vestron title coming out from Lionsgate and Blu-ray, part of their Vestron Collectors series. Then Oscilloscope is bringing us Obex. And hey, what's not to love about Obex? So this is coming to us.
No idea about it. No.
And this is a 2025 movie, and I have no idea about it either. But in the pre-internet 1987, Connor and his dog Sandy live a life of seclusion, lost in the slow rendering graphics of early Macs and televisions aglow with late-night horror movie marathons. But when he begins playing Obex, a new and mysterious state-of-the-art computer game, he finds himself trapped in a low-tech but high-stakes analog hellscape as the line between reality and the game blurs. Come on, man. I'm in. I am in. Then from 88 Films, The Amsterdam Kill. I'd never even heard of this movie. Have you heard of this movie, Dieter?
No.
This is from 1977.
Robert Mitchum and Leslie Nielsen?
Dude, I know. Robert Klaus, who directed Enter the Dragon. He directs his tough-as-nails thriller about an international drug racket. Robert Mitchum is Quinlan, an ex-cop dragged back into the game when he's given information that could stop the heroin trade. But there's a lot of people who want him to fail, and some of them might be on his own side. Crisscrossing the world from Holland to Hong Kong and boasting an all-star cast that includes Leslie Nielsen, Richard E. Egan, and Key Luke. The Amsterdam Kill makes the French Connection looks like a Sunday picnic. This is Region B Locked.
But okay, but I haven't seen it.
There's a trailer, apparently, or somewhere. Yeah. But there you go. And then we have the Max Fleischer cartoons, Volume 1 of his old classic cartoons. That'll be fun. What's not to love there? And I would suggest everyone delve into that. And finally, Oliver Stone. Speaking of Oliver Stone, Talk Radio. Kino Lorber is re-releasing Talk Radio on Blu-ray. I'm a huge fan of this movie. I'm excited. Eric Bogosian gives a searing performance. Michael Wincott's in this. Love it. Now, here we go. Top-selling Blu-ray discs. Zootopia 2, Predator Badlands, The Running Man, Five Nights at Freddy's, Hamnet, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, Sisu, Road to Revenge, Sisu 2, Excalibur, The Wild Robot, and Star Trek Strange New World Season 3. And then on 4K alone, we have The Running Man is number one. You go, Edgar, right? Predator Badlands, Hamnet, Zootopia 2, Star Trek Strange New World Season 3, The Wild Robot, Excalibur, Network, Ben-Hur, and Five Nights at Freddy's. Those are the 4K titles. And that's it, Deets.
So as you can see, Rob, it's always strange. Running Man did not pretty well in theaters, but here it's number one at the charts.
People buy it.
Physical media
Good
charts.
for Edgar Wright.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's it. That's our news. We've done our live stream.
Yeah. If we are caught up on super chats, Rob?
Good question. I don't know. let's see. Let's see if we are. I'll tell you where we're at in terms of super chats, if I can ever get there. I don't know why. Why is this? Major Chai Chai says that Paul, Alan, Bernardo, and I will meet up at the Huntsville Pop Culture. Something is happening. At the Huntsville Pop Culture Expo on the 18th of. That's exciting. Hang on, I can't. There's wackiness happening in our internet connection, and I don't know why that is.
They're probably over.
Yeah, that's it. That time, that pesky time limit, or I have too many things open, or whatever. Actually, let me look at this.
Break.
We're breaking ourselves. Here's a page. Hang on. Oh, I have to reload. Hold on. That's what it wanted me to do, was reload the player. Jeez. So here we go. Yeah. So let me just say again, the Pop Culture Expo on April 18th at noon at the Trilogy Hotel. If anyone is nearby, please join us. That's Paul, Alan, Bernardo, and Major Chai Chai will meet up at the Huntsville Pop Culture Expo on April 18th.
Nice.
Paul says, let's honor Chuck Norris. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite Chuck Norris movie, Dieter? Do you have one?
Tough. I would say probably Invasion USA.
Mine is too.
Because I think it's probably one of his biggest movie, considering a Canon production.
Yep. And I saw it in the theater.
I would say Invasion USA, Lone Wolf McQuade.
Good.
And the third one, actually, while it's not his biggest action movie, I would actually put Sidekicks at third place, Rob, just because Barry always has these daydreams, and you get a little bit of a perhaps greatest hits of Chuck Norris with Sidekicks.
Yeah. I like early, when the first Chuck Norris movie I saw with my dad was Good Guys Wear Black.
Yeah,
but do you remember
I heard that on the John Campiache?
Do you remember
but I have not seen that, Rob. I don't even know that movie.
Oh, do you know the Octagon?
I heard. I
like the Octagon too. Yeah. I haven't seen. I saw those only once in the theater, and I like that. Yeah. But I do like Delta Force, and I do love Missing in Action, and I love the Canon.
And actually, Rob, Chuck. For me, I think of Chuck Norris considering not so the martial arts stuff. So for me, two of his iconic moments, or for me, the most iconic moment is actually the Missing in Action scene when he comes out of the water with the machine gun. This for me is the most iconic scene from him. Or in McQuade, when he with his pickup truck barrels his way out. This was always the stuff that I remember. So I remember stuff very different than martial arts stuff that he was doing in his movies.
Totally, dude. Tom Jr. Jackson says, Rob, just checking in saying, hey, I've been a member for 64 months. I hope all is well with you. Dieter, could you bump up your excitement a bit?
For what? For Project Hail Mary? No fucking way.
Richard Curtis says, this is the last time, Dexter. I think he meant to say Dieter. It's understandable you haven't heard of this German comedian, but I thought when W-H-E-N was pronounced Vane.
Vane, yeah. Okay, Henning Vane. Yeah, you're right. Richard, you're right.
Okay, well, there
you're
you
right
go.
on that one. You're right with your pronunciation. Henning Vane. But doesn't ring a bell either. I have to Google him.
Richard Curtis has tried very hard to get you Germans on board.
The two other Germans said they don't know him either, though. Have to look him up.
But you guys have tried.
Not very well versed.
Give Richard Curtis credit.
With the German comedians. Yeah, with the German comedians. Not very well versed with them.
Andy Haynes has been a member for 30 months, and Richard Curtis himself has been a member for 14 months. Thank you for the support, Richard. I appreciate that. And all the good questions today. Richard was on fire with some great questions. So appreciate that. We're caught up, man. We are good.
So I would say we bring the show to an end, Rob. And if you do double feature, I remind you, I hope you will give the new movie of Kirill Sokolov their due. They will kill you next week. I hope he does his good outing with his first English feature. On the other front, from me, I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
And I would say that every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. And with that, I would say to every single person, have a better day. Thank you for generously supporting this channel via Super Chats, tips, memberships, and all those things. We very much appreciate that. And, you know, a lot of great physical media coming. But,
yeah, certainly.
You got to buy it.
And totally understandable, Rob. It's just great that we get something from a streamer like Netflix on physical media, like Stranger Things, like one of their big titles. But for me, too expensive, not really in a rush for owning.
No, but I look, as you, I really do appreciate, you know, them doing this. I wonder
it came totally out of nowhere, Rob. Totally out of nowhere.
Totally out of nowhere.
Because we had, help me, Rob, we had season 1, and I don't know if it was 2 in the States got a little bit of a release.
No, they did like a VHS release, so they did these.
Yeah, VHS,
Yeah, they did some strange. You know, I would imagine this is driven by the Duffer Brothers themselves.
Okay.
Like they probably had in their deal somehow that they were going to be able to release this set. But for me, I mean, this is a weird thing. It belongs to Netflix. Like it was always a streaming show. It wasn't like it was something that was picked up that I thought would get a physical media release and didn't or whatever. Yeah. I think in the case of Netflix, it kind of belongs to them. So it's weird. I feel like I'm going to the tuna train to buy it. Like it's something that's I mean.
But it's great to get even titles from them, like Frankenstein or K-pop Demon Hunters even, from Criterion. That's great.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. And if they're willing to do that, and people, you know, because, look, I think things like K-pop Demon Hunters, you know, anime is collectible, and I understand if they're going to go for that market. So, hey, it's great. Awesome. I will buy K-pop Demon Hunters. Why not?
It was awesome. One of my favorites last year.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Rob, watch Nesa. Nesa 1 and Nesa 2.
Yes, indeed.
Because Nesa 2 was the best movie of last year, Rob. Believe me. Believe me on that front. Because
I believe you.
That's how you do. That's how you do sequels, Rob. Watch the first one that you got from Velgo USA, and then I'm still waiting, Rob, for a physical media release of Nesa 2. Still nowhere in the world, nowhere. Not in Asia, you know. I don't know what is the
Wait,
hold
didn't
up.
you give me Nesa 2? Oh, you gave me the
No,
first one.
the first one, Rob. I gave you the first one, and the second one got distribution rights in the States from A24 with the English dub, you know. But nowhere in the world, as far as I know, a Blu-ray for the second one. I have no idea why. I'm still waiting.
Well,
but if you like the first one, Rob, the second one is so much bigger. It's epic. Second one is epic. But they need to watch the first one, definitely, because
of course
it continues the story immediately there. It is not. They will not give you a recap with Nesa 2. You know?
All right, sir. And on that note, we're going to end this show. And remember, today, I don't know if I'll have time to do this, but I'm hoping to do a 95th birthday stream about William Shatner later. So on that note, everyone,
happy birthday,
happy birthday, Bill. And I will see you
next week.
all, in the next video.
Next week.
Have a good one, everybody, and buy some more physical media.